Imagine being in a story competition and you say Resident Evil has the most coherent one.
I like how you didn't fill your slots up, Cal. You put Final Fantasy 16 with an asterisk, and you didn't put RE4. I thought at least you would. You've only played 5 games.
Because Resident Evil wasn't that compelling.
More compelling than half of 16. Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to a special episode of the HGO podcast. I am one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just so well.
It's a big day, everybody. It's a big day. It is the annual... Is this the 4th annual? We haven't
done this every season.
We didn't do this for the
We didn't do it the first year, did we? So
2020.
it's technically the third annual HGAs. I'll get the number right eventually, Hunter. You can't stop me. Third annual
It's
HGAs.
that Ethan math strikes again.
Ethan math strikes again. The third annual HGAs. That means that this is actually... this is an actual thing now. We actually do this. It's not, one,
Much
fair
like the
enough. Two,
podcast.
good attempt.
Much like
Three,
the podcast.
we're here.
3, and now it's a pattern.
Also, Happy New Year, everybody! Well, hey, this is
Woo!
also the only HGAs that's actually going up in the new year so far. That's fun. Which means we can officially say that this is the definitive Game of the Year awards because we actually waited for the year to end before we posted it. I think that's incredible. You see, Jeff, turns out games do come out in December. None of them are on this list, but they came out in December, so we gotta wait.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
Oh,
Pour one out
spicy!
for Asgard's Wrath or whatever it was called.
I can't wait to hear Cal's immense and incredible thoughts on Avatar, a Ubisoft open world game, his favorite fucking genre.
You nailed it. Those are all of my favorite things, Ethan.
All your favorite things. You love Avatar,
Ubisoft, open world, and
Ubisoft.
Avatar.
It's all there, man. It's the trifecta. But yeah, we are here to talk about all the video games we have loved in the past 12 months. I can promise you one thing. If I can't promise you anything else, I can't promise you quality. I can't promise that you'll agree with us, but I can promise that we will probably spend more than 20 seconds talking about the winner. I can promise you that much, guys. It's going to be great. We will at least give you 25 seconds, maybe 30. We'll see how it's going. There's a lot to go through, because if you're new here, we have a bunch of categories, and not only that, we do have, for the first time ever, we will have an overall game of the year, but we also have our individual picks, because we're all individual people. If you ask me and Kyle, who have very different tastes in video games, to sit in a room and agree what the best RPG was of this year, I don't think we'd leave the room. I think we'd be stuck there for a very long time. So it'll be interesting. You'll get plenty of opinions from all of us. And hey, if you've been here before, you probably know what we like and have similar tastes to at least one of us. So I'm sure some of you will be pretty happy with what happens. But yeah, it'll be a fun one. I always like doing this episode around this time because it always reminds me. Last week we did a recap and I'm like, oh yeah, all this shit came out, and then this year, like, this always really, when I'm trying to do these lists, it really solidifies where I'm like, okay, this was a really solid year, and we've been saying that for a while, but going back through all this stuff, I'm like, oh man, yeah, this came out and this came out. Forgot about you. Wish I'd forgot about that. There's so much stuff to talk about. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, if you're new here, welcome to the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK time on podcast services everywhere. Just search for HGO podcast or Hot Gamers Only. And then you can go to youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only, where you can look at our stupid faces every week in video form, if that is your preference. Which, I'd say look at all the fancy stuff we have prepared. We don't. It's more of a podcast. It's New Year's. Calm down. You're probably hungover. Like, chill. Calm down. We're fine. We're vibing. We have plenty of categories to go through. We've got some serious. We've got some fun, as we always do this time of year. Because what's the point of doing a little award show without having a little bit of a laugh in between? So we've got too many categories to count. If you want to know specific impressions on certain categories, there's timestamps below, or in the podcast description if you're on audio podcasts. Because these episodes tend to run a while, and some people might go, you know what? I don't want to know what the best hair is in video games this year. And if you don't, screw you, because that's probably the best part of this podcast. This will be the best part. That's the peak.
It's annually the best award.
I think it's funny because I think that we often sit here and, I feel like best hair is usually the most contentious, where I'm like, I don't see it. I'm like, really? That? Can
Real
we keep
talk,
letting
I think it's the
JRPGs
one.
get away with winning this category? I don't know if we can. This is like, come on.
Real talk, I think that's the category I put the most brain thought into.
There were certainly categories
It's
I was like,
important decisions.
yeah, that was the category where I was like, there's some way you're just like, oh, I can't think of a sixth one of these. So I'm like, oh, what's a game that Hunter really liked or I think deserves a recommendation if I just dabbled with it a little bit but didn't really finish it. Whereas best hair, I'm literally sitting there like killing children. Like I'm like, middle children, they can get out of here, it's just the important ones, like I'm just June, July, I'm sorry, you just were the wrong time for video games. Like there's plenty to talk about. There's plenty of stuff. Timestamps down below. But we like to start it off with another one of my favorite categories. We do this one every year. It is called the This Came Out This Year Award, which is these nominees are for the games that we forgot even came out this year and continue to forget to this very day, because I wrote these yesterday and I've already forgotten what they were. That's the power of these games. They could have been great. They could be bad. Some of them might have just slipped under the radar because another massive game came out at the same time. Who knows? We're going to discuss them right now. Are we doing these in order? Which order are we going with? Are we going to spice it up? Where do we want to start? One of you pick. Who's going first?
Kyle can go first.
Oh, go on, Kyle. Go on, Kyle. What are your nominations for the This Came Out This Year award?
All right. So I've got Hogwarts Legacy, Advance Wars, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe Edition, or
That's
whatever the hell that was called.
That one.
Wild Hearts and Humanity.
Wild Hearts is a good one.
Wild Hearts is definitely a good one. That. I'm definitely sitting there. I feel like Hogwarts is going to be a controversial pick because I feel like instead of being forgot, I think it's just the game that no one talks about. It's like I think it's
that was kind of my toss up with that. I don't know if it was forgotten because people got grumpy about it in February when it was coming out. Understandably.
Oh, and people got grumpy
and then I just
in
never
April
heard about
when the
it
PS4
again.
version came out, and people got grumpy in November when the Switch. It's been an ongoing saga. That one has. Can't wait for the sequel because it sold 6 bajillion copies, so that'll be fun.
But I feel like the grumpiness got a lot quieter as the year went on.
I think it's because they realized
and people just kind of moved on.
I think you were either in the band. You were either going to buy it or you weren't going to buy it, regardless. And I feel like Twitter is always like that, where it gets very loud, it gets very passionate. Yeah. You have the polar opposites, and no one in the middle of the spectrum really gets involved. Where it's like, none of us played it for reasons of either supporting the trans community or just don't want to play an open world
because Harry Potter's boring and the game looked mediocre.
And trust me, you can do both and also not have to be too passionate about it. Like, I was like, I don't care enough about Hogwarts Legacy, so I'm also happy to throw that bone to my trans friends and stuff like that, where I'm like, yeah, why not? I will not play it, but I'm not going to act here as a hero. I wasn't going to fucking play it anyway. But no, those are some good picks. Before we discuss winners, as always, we'll go through everyone's nominations. Hunter, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I can do that. You want to count down, or you just want me to?
You go. You go for whatever you want, but speak slightly louder because you're being a bit quiet.
3, 2, 1. Boom.
Oh, brilliant! Clap. Wonderful.
Atomic Heart.
I forgot that came out. Okay, go for it, Hunter. What did you have?
I had Tachia. Being nominated at the Game Awards doesn't count. I forgot about it before that. Atomic Heart, Forspoken, Advanced Wars, Humanity.
Some good picks again,
Decent overlap.
Atomic Heart, that's a good shout. Forspoken, again, is an interesting pick.
It's one of those. It's one of those effects where it happened so long ago that it kind of slipped the memory of being in this year.
What I'll say here is we always have a winner for these categories, and I think one of them just wins outright here because there manages to be a game that we have all put on our list. So I think that is the true winner. My nominations for this, my 5 nominations for this wonderful category were Fire Emblem Engage, because my gosh, I did forget that came out until we bitched about it last week. Forspoken, Cheer, Advanced Wars, and you guys, how could you dare forget everybody's 1-2 Switch,
Oh
the
my
most
god.
Very
forgettable game
easily.
to come out this year. And I guess with all those out of the way, there is one game that we all put, which I guess means it has to win.
I don't know. I guess on one hand that means that we all remembered it at the last hour there.
You know what? He's got a
See,
point, so we have to
here's
go.
here's the thing, Hunter. I thought Advanced Wars came out last year. I
No,
forgot it happened
it got
this
delayed.
year. I know it kept getting delayed, but like my brain just thought it was last year.
See, I think the most forgettable game among our collective here was 1-2 Switch.
I also agree because I was like, when you're scouring through the list, I was like, did it come out? And it's like the only reason I remember it is not because the game came out; it's because of that Imran Khan article a year ago that was like, it's the worst thing we've ever made, and then it came out, and it was the worst thing they'd made in a long,
They had the
long
audacity to charge how did they charge full price for it?
It wasn't, but
Or
it was still
30?
like $40 or $30.
Oh my god.
Ridiculous. Too much money for what it was.
Yeah.
It's the only Nintendo game I've seen in recent memory that's gone on sale for a lot of like a massive discount.
Like substantially too,
I've seen
right?
it for
Like
as
you could
little
get
as
it for a tenner.
$9 in places where it's like that doesn't happen to Nintendo games.
No.
No.
It either survives its entire console cycle and then they just becomes retro and still the secondhand market will gouge you.
And I mean, I think I look at a lot of these games, right, and it's like, other than Wild Hearts, which I haven't heard too much about, I feel like every other game here, except for everybody's 1-2 Switch, may be forgettable, but also has its fans, has people that actually did enjoy those games. Whereas everybody 1-2 Switch is forgettable, despised, and I think everybody would be better off if it didn't exist. I feel like no one's life improved because of 1-2 Switch. Well, I'd say a lot of lives were ruined by it, but let's be real, about 5 people bought it, so
No
5
one
people's
played it,
lives were
so-
ruined by everybody's 1-2 Switch. And they were all probably streamers that were streaming it for a fucking bit anyway, so who cares,
For a
they'll
buck,
live.
yeah.
So yeah, are we all in agreement? I'm pretty happy with that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say
yeah.
that.
So there you go. Congratulations, Nintendo, for your first award of the night. The This Came Out This Year award goes to everybody's 1-2 Switch. Wow. What can I say? You deserve it, Nintendo. You really deserve it. People always like, it makes me laugh because people are like, oh, Nintendo, they're my publisher of the year or whatever, and I'm like, bitch, you released that. No, go think about what you've done. You can release one of the best games of all time this year. You also released one of the worst. Sit down and think.
But at least they didn't release Gollum.
Oh, true. But how could you forget Gollum? It's such a memorable experience for everybody that played it or watched it. Moving on, it's time for a serious category. It's for the hottest RPG. Unlike Jeff, we give it its own segment, and we also put it early in the show because it's quite important. So, this will be interesting because we have not had the Jeff Keighley discussion of discussions on what classes an RPG, what classes an action adventure. I feel like we might have different games here, so this will be fun, won't it? Did it think to have the Zelda conversation or the Final Fantasy conversation? Oh well, let's find out. And we're back. We had to sort some stuff out on the back end because Discord is being a mess. Let's hope that it carries on working for now.
It hates us and it hates you.
I don't know.
Especially you.
It hates all of us. It hates our wonderful, wonderful ceremony. I'm sorry. This is an outrage. This is Jeff. Jeff is DDoS.
Yeah, this
right
is
now.
Big Keighley trying to keep us down.
Alleged human Jeff Keighley is trying to put us down from the mainframe. Jeff, come on.
How dare you
look,
respect the
Jeff,
developers?
I wore the proper attire. Look, I wore the shitty JPEG t-shirt and a blazer. Like, let me in. I'm fine. Come on. Anyway, we don't know. It's hottest RPG time. We didn't discuss beforehand. I don't know what's getting cut and what isn't, so I'll just say it for the 5th time and hopefully it stays in. We haven't discussed beforehand what we class as an RPG and what we class as an action adventure game. So I'm sure that one of us will have Zelda somewhere and where it shouldn't be, and we'll have to have that fight. And another person will have Final Fantasy 16 in a place where it shouldn't be, and we'll have to have that one too. It'll be fine. We'll roll with it. I guess I'll go first because I'm sure the judgment will be here. Will come for me first. So let's go for it. My nominations for hottest RPG, I kind of went by. I went, if in doubt, Jeff knows best. We'll go by the Jeff logic. That was my thinking. Big brain. Okay.
I guess.
Hottest RPG. My nominations are Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, Lies of P, Octopath Traveler 2, and I put in a sneaky cheeky reference because fuck it. If Jeff Keighley can put Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty in his Game Awards, then Ethan's put in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed in his Game Awards because it's a fantastic
My man.
RPG that deserved to be at least showing up somewhere. So there you go. Those are my 5 nominations. I don't think there's any surprises. If you've heard me talk about games this year, I don't think those should surprise anybody at this point. Other than if you think Zelda is an RPG, which we can discuss. I don't think it is. Anyway.
I mean, I disagree with FF16 being as an
I
RPG,
do too,
but
but there are
that's
so
just
many
me.
action games this year and adventure games that I was like, I can justify putting FF16 more as an RPG
Yeah.
than I can others. So that was my line of thinking.
I don't agree with it, but I'll allow it.
Hunter?
Alrighty. I've got Final Fantasy 16,
Hoorah.
Octopath Traveler 2,
Hoorah.
Sea of Stars,
Mhm.
Baldur's Gate 3, and Mario RPG, because I'm sure if I had played that, I would like it.
Fair enough.
It's a good one.
I was going by the logic. With my Octopath Traveler, I hadn't played enough RPGs that I liked this year to put a fifth entry. So I was like, it was between Octopath and Mario RPG because I intend to play them, and I've owned Octopath forever, so I'll give it that. Right, let's move on. Kyle, what are your picks? I don't know where we're leaving.
All right.
Discord is ruining everything for everybody. Go on. What are your picks, Kyle?
All right. So over here on mine, I've got Baldur's Gate 3, Octopath 2, Super Mario RPG Remake, Sea of Stars, and I also dropped Future Connected into my list, or Future Redeemed into my list.
Don't you dare say that fucking sinful name in this hollowed ground of the HGA.
Dude, it's not my fault their names are similar.
Yeah, and hear me out. I think it's stupid. I thought it was stupid. I think they were trying to be cute, and Ethan's answer was no. I don't like that. It's very interesting here because we all have a couple on here. I think here's the thing, right? We all have different opinions on this one, and I think it'd be very easy. I don't know if it'd be easy for you two to come to a conclusion by yourselves. Do you think you two could agree on your favorite RPG? Did you both like Baldur's Gate 3 enough? I guess we could ask that question. Or did you two like Octopath 2 more than I don't know. Tell me what you guys are thinking.
I mean, I really liked Octo 2.
Yeah, we
but
know
I
you
think
liked
Baldur's
Octo
Gate
2.
3 is the better game.
Yeah, as far as that's concerned, let me check the category. Of the 3 here that I've already are the 3 I nominated that I've also played with Octopath there, I like all 3 of those more. So, you know.
Fair enough. So I think the only logical thing to do here is this going to Baldur's Gate 3? Are we giving that the official HGA award here? Does anyone have any arguments against it?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, cool. So congratulations, Baldur's Gate 3, for winning Hottest RPG. It only took like 6 disconnects, but there you go. Enjoy your HGA. It'll be in the post. But I do want to talk a bit about this because it is interesting. Because it's like, Kyle, you've already mentioned. What's your favorite? Baldur's Gate 3, the best RPG you've played. There's technically the best RPG you played this year. What's your favorite, Kyle? Why do you like Octopath 2 so much?
Oh shit, I wasn't ready for this question.
What, you weren't ready for the hard-hitting questions, dude? Yeah.
Yeah, the
You've only got 25 seconds.
of why
Please
I
wrap
like
it up.
video games.
Why I
Please wrap
like
it up.
game.
Yeah.
So what I liked about Octopath 2 is that it did a really good job of following up Octopath 1 in the sense that it took what worked about the first game and it kept all that, and then it also fixed a lot of the issues that people had problems with. Mainly, a lot of the common complaints were that there wasn't a lot of real party interactions with each other, and it just felt like they were all together. So what this game did instead was it added in something cool called, I think they were called like cross stories, where two of your party members would pair up, and they would have their own little side story to
Yeah.
tackle with each other. And it was that little bit of interaction that really just helped propel the game up for me.
See, those things felt like a bit of a half step to me.
Really?
Like, they were cool, but also the game set itself up like, there were a bunch of characters' storylines that I feel like set themselves up to be where it'd be like, why the separation between everyone's stories became weird with how they were setting it up. Like, for example, Particio needed a dude with loads of money or whatever to help him
Mhm.
out. Hikari's rich. He's from a royal family.
Yeah.
That would be like a natural converging point for the two of them. It would have made a
Yeah.
lot more sense. Or like at the end of Hikari's story when he's like fighting off his inner demon or whatever. I feel like it would have been more powerful if instead of just Hikari's stories characters, it would have been the party members that, hypothetically you'd be interacting with more and stuff.
You see, the thing that I
Yeah.
always think
Like
is
I get
interesting.
that it's like the selling point of the two games here that it's 8 main characters and 8 stories, but
It's always hard to
also
juggle. It's always hard to juggle.
I
Yeah.
feel like if
You can't
you could
account
have
for
done it,
everything.
I feel
But
like
I
you could
don't
have
think it's
just
Square exclusive. I think what I was going to say was that it's like, I think a lot of people always talk about design philosophies when it comes to Western RPGs versus JRPGs and all that jazz. And what I always tend to draw the line on is I don't care about gameplay systems or anything like that. A lot of the time, to me, is the things that shine in JRPGs tend to be the golden path, the main story, the thing that drives you through, the character developments that happen as you draw you through, and the side stuff always seems lacking. I love Persona, I love Confidants, but every time I'm screaming, where's the more? Why is it you build up to level 10, your best buds fuck off, get in the dungeon, like never see you again, Like that's kind of stupid. Whereas Western RPGs always have fucking awful main campaigns, or at least they have their roller coaster moments, their ups, their downs, their lulls, their kind of the never-ending lull sometimes if you're talking about a Bethesda RPG. But they nail the side content and the development and stuff like that where I'm like, I fuck off the main quest in Western RPGs so often because I'm like, I just want to go and hang out with this person. And Todd Howard's sitting there in his fucking weird little bunker going, I know that you freaks are going to go and fuck off and spend time with this fucker for 20 hours. Let's go and make so much random shit for it. And that's why I think it's like, when I hear that they're spending more time developing characters on these side stories, these connected things, I can see why Hunter is like it's a halfway house because that's what JRPGs do. Is they offer you all these things and never fully commit to the bit. Maybe in a 3 they'll fully commit to that bit, but also it's a
maybe.
JRPG. I can't fully convince myself that that's ever going to happen.
You see, I realize that what I'm asking of them is kind of antithetical to the premise of the games, but
And
Yeah.
to just
also the
JRPGs
way
in
that
general.
the way that they're writing it made it
Yeah.
feel like it would have worked. So it was
And let's
like
be real here.
annoying me the
For a lot
whole
of
game.
people, it did work. It worked for Kyle. It worked for a lot of people. A lot of people have come out of this year going, I think Octopath Traveler 2 has been a slept on game. We'll get to that later. But, it's like, it's hard to kind of disagree. It came out in the start. It was brilliant. The graphics were wonderful. The story was excellent. It felt like a sequel that we used to see not even last generation, 2 generations ago, where you'd get that launch from like Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2 or Infamous 1, Infamous 2. Not entirely revolutionary jumps in the formula, but doing enough tweaking and doing enough steps in the right direction that it overall felt like a breathtaking experience because you were sitting there playing the original going, oh, I wish it had this, and I wish it spent more time doing this,
Yeah.
and I wish the characters
Mm.
actually felt slightly connected. And they started just ticking those boxes off. And I'm like, thank you. Someone's doing it because I feel like games take 7 million years to come out now, so it just feels like it's a next evolution every time. I'm like, sometimes I just want a game that takes a game that came out 2 or 3 years ago and just ticks all those boxes that I had, those little negatives that I had, and just fix them, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, like, I think that the quality of Octopath Two's writing is far
Oh,
ahead
yeah,
of
it's
what
far
1
better than the
was.
first ones, like, for all of the stuff I said about it being halfway, it's still halfway it's still like, "Oh, that's still much better than how it was in the first game," where
Yeah.
anytime there was some kind of connection in the first game, that was for the benefit of the player, and, like, as far as we know, the characters didn't even know about it.
Yeah. And I definitely feel and, like, I think that the worst worst story in Octopath 2 is equivalent to like a middling story from the first game.
which is always a good sign. Um,
Yeah.
we will talk about Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit because Hunter, I assume that is your your actual RPG of the year. Um,
Yes.
we'll talk about it in a second. We will give it its flowers, but first, I want to talk about me, baby, because I'm so important. Uh, RPGs have been really interesting for me this year because it's like for the first time in I think the past 4 years. I'm just gonna double check. Let me check my stats. Let him cook. Let him cook. Yeah. Um, my favorite RPG this year is Final Fantasy 16, which is borderline an RPG in many respects. It's not an RPG
It's an
really.
action game.
It's an action game. If we don't count Final Fantasy 16, there isn't an RPG in my top 5. It's Starfield next at number 6. That is like usually there's an RPG that's my number 1 or my number like in the top 3 at least, and that's an RPG. Last year Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was my game of the year. It's like there's usually one there. This year a lot of them were great, but they didn't utterly
They
grip
didn't
me.
hit that way though.
No, they didn't. And here's the thing: Xenoblade 3 Future Redeemed is cheating. It's like going, you like Xenoblade 3? Here's a second slice of that pie. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I'll have that happily on a week in a week's notice. Thank you, Nintendo. Very kind. And then I ate it all up. I'm like, this is fantastic. Where's my physical version, you cowards? Like, and then I move on with my life. Um, but I'll say that Final Fantasy 16, as much as I criticize that game and as much as I don't really gel with the second half, I've said it before. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I'll give it its flowers now because um, we'll talk about it in more technical terms later, not really on a general. Is still my favorite first half to a video game I've played this year. I still stand by that first half of that video game up until you enter the Mother Crystal with Sid and Jill, and that section ends and that time jump happens. That first half of the video game is my favorite thing that I've played this year. I really struggled to put it down. I was having a blast. It's just the second half did a complete 180 in the opposite direction that it made my opinion on it kind of balanced. But it was just honestly, if this like here's the thing though, I'd rather Final Fantasy do stuff like this where they take risks and things don't work out than just make the same generic game over and over and over again, like a lot of JRPG franchises tend to do. They don't tend to go in different directions and go, hey, let's try more of an action focus this time. I mean, Persona, love Persona. Past 3 games have been the same fucking thing, change the city, have a great time. And I can promise you, Persona 6 will be the exact same thing when we finally see it in 2036. It'll be great.
I mean,
I,
Dragon been the same thing since the 80s.
yeah, exactly. But people
So,
really love it for how it is. But it doesn't reinvent the wheel.
yeah.
And it's like it's nice to see it try some things, and it won't hit with some people, but it has with others. And for me, it nearly hit. It nearly did. It was very close, but I still love it. And as for Starfield, it was. I like
Better
it.
luck
It's a
next
Bethesda
time.
RPG.
I like it. I wish it was an actual open world though. That would have been cool. Like I say, 5 planets instead of 5,000 empty ones. That would have been grand. Hunter, Baldur's Gate 3. It was our winner. I feel like we're going way too long on this, but we will give it more than 30 seconds, I promise. Why do you love Baldur's Gate 3 so much?
Oh, dude, like straight up, if I had the time to replay it like 5 more times, like I did back in ye old days with longer games when I was unemployed and in middle school, I would absolutely
I
without
mean, you can
blinking.
quit your job.
Yep.
Don't be a pussy, dude. if
Oh
you
yeah,
if
I'm
you want
not
to
gonna
live
do
that dream,
that.
you go for it, buddy. You go and play 5 more
But
playthroughs.
like it does the really cool thing of like it's really good at the characters that you're interacting with, whether it's the party members or even just the NPCs that you're seeing throughout the whole game. They're good at making them interesting to like fill in and color the world. It's just when RPGs make a game or a world that you like being in and interacting with, it is the key to winning in a lot of these.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I'm with
Baldur's Gate did a great job at that.
yeah. I'm with you on this one, Hunter. About I think I put this in my article when I wrote up about Baldur's Gate, but like halfway into my first playthrough, I was already thinking about what I could be doing for a second playthrough, and when a game as big as this makes me think that, like, I haven't thought about a video game like that in a long time.
I finished Act 2 a couple weeks ago at this point, and, my thought when I finished it was, "God, I wanna do that again."
It's always the
Yeah,
highest compliment. It's always the highest compliment, especially
same.
when a game is super long like that, Um,
Yeah.
it's very rare when I play a game that is 80 to 120 to 150 to God knows how many hours and go, I could do that
Infinity.
again. It's very rare for me to do that. So
It's
it's very
like,
high praise.
my brother's gonna get it eventually, and he's like, "Oh, do the multiplayer or whatever," and I'm like, "Alright, sure."
I'm
Did you
tempted.
see why I wanted to play multiplayer with you, Hunter?
Just a gateway drug back in. It's like you got me back
It
in.
re
I can get
it
back in.
really is.
I
Come
can
on,
quit
dude, we
whenever I
can
want,
cook
Mum.
Sam
You
into
can't stop
this.
me. You can't
Yeah.
stop me. I'm gonna play co-op now. I'm gonna drag my friend into it. Be
Ooh,
his
you could get
problem
it too, and
too.
we could all 4 of us could play it.
No,
Please,
I,
it'd be so fun.
I
It
don't
would
have
be such
100
a
hours.
disaster, it would be
Anyway,
great.
that was our hottest
That's
RPG.
D&D, baby!
That will probably be our longest category because it is probably the most passionate category that we have here at the HGAs. We're going to move on to something that'll probably be a lot quicker because I think we're going to agree on a lot of this more, especially me and Hunter.
Yeah,
Next category is the hottest action adventure game. We put it in the same category here at the HGAs because we still don't understand why it's separate and other places. I still can't have this argument. I can argue all day and night between what's the difference between an RPG or an adventure game. Tell me to tell the difference between an action and adventure game. I have no fucking clue. I still don't get it. I still don't get
me
it.
either, dude.
But
I feel like it used to be easier to delineate, and
yeah,
then
because adventure
games.
games used to be fucking point and click. Tim Schafer would be like, "Oh, look at
I
this.
mean,
It's about
even
wacky
I mean, even
skeletons.
after that,
Look at
like,
Monkey Island.
Look, it's
I mean,
Monkey
even after
Island."
that, now like every AAA game is halfway a Dark Souls game, and that makes life difficult.
And everybody since 2008 has taken an inspiration from Uncharted, so they always have one kind of set piece that's like a bit
Yeah,
swashbuckly, and you're like, okay, what is this? Um, I believe we started with Hunter. Have you not gone first yet? So you can reveal
I
your
have not gone
nominations
first
first.
yet. Yeah, alrighty.
Um,
So what I've got here is Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4,
yeah,
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom,
yep,
Spider-Man 2,
mhm.
and Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Those are interesting, very interesting. I'm gonna go next, Kyle, just because
Oh,
mine are very similar to his, so I think you'll be the more of the
understandable.
contrast. Um, my
Hear me
nominations
out, I
are.
only have 4.
Say it with me, kids. Let's go through the motions. Zelda Tears of the
So the
Kingdom,
2
Resident Evil 4 Remake, Hi-Fi Rush,
Hey, wait
Spider-Man
a
2,
minute.
and Jedi Survivor. High-Five, Hunter. High-five, the board's
Woo!
fucking unanimous there.
This is the same picture. You just
God.
flipped it horizontally.
In other news, water is wet, and me and Hunter likes the same 5 action-adventure games this year, so there you go. Um, Kyle,
Okay.
you can
So I've
differentiate.
got Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah,
Armored Core 6, Final Fantasy 16, and Resi 4. I couldn't think of a 5th thing.
that's fair enough. That's fair
I
enough.
didn't play enough action adventure games this year.
For shame. How dare you?
It's too
Yeah, but
bad
I'm
your
the only one
computer
who
couldn't run
remembered Armored
Hi-Fi
Core.
Rush. I know about Armored Core. I just didn't play it, and I had 5 games that I did play.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's do the obvious thing we're going to do
You two
here.
can hash this out.
Yeah, well, we don't need to hash it out because I'm
Yeah.
more interested in talking about, again, some of our favorite moments, some of the reasons we like these games. Because let's be real here, Hunter. I know that even if I wanted to argue for any of these in some way, shape, or form, I also like Zelda enough to know that Zelda is going to win this category. Like, I know we're both going to sit here.
Well, you see, making it action or merging these makes it a little bit more of an interesting conversation because, like, I think Resident Evil 4 is better at the action end of this equation than Zelda is.
Yeah, because
I
Resident
think
Evil 4 is a straight line.
I think that Zelda's better. I think Zelda's a little bit better of an overall game, though. So, it's a conversation either direction.
I see it's hard for me. Well, here's the thing. One, I just want to say that when I was saying that RPGs are usually in my top 3, and this is like, blah, 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 have a great time. Most of the time, action adventure always slips below that. I think this year, fucking peak for action adventure games. I think that this is their year. Everyone loves Baldur's Gate 3, but if you're not a Baldur's Gate fan, if you're one of those stupid people that are like, why is it turn based, or if you're just more a normal person that's like, I don't have 100 hours, fair play to you. I'm the same way. There's been so many action adventure games this year, and they've all been fucking great. Like, there genuinely has. There's been very few. Shockingly, there's been very few mediocre games this year. Like, they've mainly been on one side of the spectrum, or the absolute opposite, like Gollum and Kong. Like, you know, it's like it's one or the other this year, which has been great. To me, it's between Tears and RE4. Those are the two for me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Category.
And like,
I love Hi-Fi Rush with all my heart. It was a game practically made for me, and I still love it dearly. Why the fuck was there not a physical copy? You absolute cowards.
Dude, I don't even have a machine for it, and I would buy a physical copy.
Same. It's a fantastic game.
I'm like in the same boat with Senua next year.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2, great, more of the same. But still fantastic. You know,
Last
Insomniac
act kind of
never misses. Well, I say that. As of recording, the Insomniac leak thing happened, and we've seen what their multiplayer game might potentially be. And to that, I say nothing. I don't know if you two saw it.
I did not see whatever you're talking
I
about.
also
But it's
didn't
something
see
that
this.
they've already been doing, and it's got the name of and the code name's the same as a film that's been released recently that is very popular and could very well be a multiplayer thing. Wow.
Beans.
Yeah.
I get you now.
And Jedi Survivor, I think is fantastic, but I think in a similar way that I thought the first one was flawed in many ways, I think that Survivor is also flawed in many ways, but they're different ways than the first one. It's one of those sequels where they fixed a lot of things that I hated about the first one.
And
they
added
also
new
fucked
problems.
up different things, and they kept the same map. So, you know, curse you. You better not be in the third one. That map shows up again in the third one. Respawn. Make a good mini-map challenge. God. It's a hard one. Now that you're saying that,
I say we give it to the big robot game and move on.
fuck off.
Nice try. Nice try, Kyle.
Nice try, Kyle.
You have to wake up pretty early in the morning to slip by me.
In there real quick.
Tears of the Kingdom had big robots if you made them.
Yeah, but that took effort.
He's got a point.
What are we doing, Hunter? If I put a gun to your head right now and go, what was the best action-adventure game, or action/adventure game this year, what would you do?
Zelda.
Kyle?
Oh,
You'd say Armored Core, wouldn't you? You say Armored Core. So Zelda it is. Zelda is a tie. All right. Congratulations, Zelda. But I do want to give a shout out to Resident Evil 4. I do love Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 was
very good.
Great. It was fantastic.
It is. It's fantastic. And that is that category out of the way. It's time for a bit of a meme. If you were here from the intro bit, how dare you skip the 20-minute RPG category? You absolute coward. But you've come for the best part, really. So I'll forgive you. Just this once, though. It's time for the Hottest Hair Award. This is for the best hair in a video game. We've been doing this for many a year. So if you're wondering, what happened last time, dude? Well, we've had such great things last time as... God,
Hunter said this as a joke, and it just kind of stuck.
It's the best.
That's how a lot of knowing me goes. I'll say things as a joke, and they just stick.
In 2021, we all had our own favorites of the year. So, for example, I think I chose Rivet because that hair tech in Ratchet & Clank is still fantastic. Is that Hunter or Kyle? Hunter, that's Hunter. You picked someone from Genshin, you absolute fucker.
Oh, Arataki. Yeah, his hair shreds.
Yeah, that was Max Middleman's character. He shreds.
And then Kyle picked 3 because he couldn't pick, like a weirdo. So you, whereas 2022,
this wasn't me. This was you guys were doing something weird, like trying to figure out how we nominate.
I think, because we did the nominations.
Pro Tag was in both.
Who won?
It was in all 3 bars.
I
don't know.
No, cool.
I think it eventually went to the Arc System character.
Okay, cool. Anyway, in 2022, Kratos won.
Yeah, naturally.
The more important one. And then this year, it's time for some hair game. Kyle, I'll let you go first. You haven't
Hair
been first
game.
again in a
Dollar
while. So.
sign.
Hair game.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So over on mine, I've got Hikari from Octopath 2, A from Future Redeemed,
Yeah.
JP from Street Fighter 6, Valir from Sea of Stars, and Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3.
Interesting. Hunter.
I like
JP
how
JP was a late addition on mine.
I respect Hikari's the pick for him because it's just Noah's
It's just
haircut
Noah
again.
again.
Yeah.
It's just the anime swordsman
Just
haircut at this
tell him.
point.
Thank you, Hunter.
It's a good
what have you
fit.
put?
Alrighty, hold on.
No
Here
pressure.
we go.
All the
I've
pressure.
got Torgal.
Oh fuck! That's such a good one. Why did I
Ganondorf.
not do that? Why did I not do that? I want to change my vote now.
I've got Torgal, Ganondorf. You could pick any hairstyle he had in Tears of the Kingdom, and it shreds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Corsica from Hi-Fi Rush, Riona from Coffee Talk, the Banshee woman, and then I've got Cal Kestis to round out the list.
Guys, I don't know if this is a first in hair history. I feel like we might actually have 15 different nominations for this category.
Baby. What a good year.
What a good year for hair, guys. My nominations were, to be fair, 2 of them. Here's the problem, right? Every year Final Fantasy comes in here at some point. Hunter went the meme route. I just went, people's hair is just a bit too hot in Final Fantasy 16. You know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about Jill, because I'm like, Jill, your hair's fine. Not the peak of Final Fantasy.
She would have been my pick if I didn't pick Torgal.
Oh, you see,
I
just
Jill,
picked.
I
just picked the guys being dudes, dude. I picked Clive and Sid, dude. I'm fucking taking them, dude.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Dudes being bros.
Is the bros? Chai from Hi-Fi Rush.
Leon from Resident Evil.
Leon
4
from
is a
Resident
good
Evil
shout.
4.
Louise would have been a good shout too. His hair's pretty good in that game.
And Zelda from Tears, because everyone's been everyone has seen Zelda's short hair for so long now, for literally 4 years, that everyone does, and I'm like,
dude, everyone's hair in that game was great.
Yeah,
like Zelda's new haircut's great. I think Link's hair looked really good too. But
especially when you change it from anything but the default style and it just goes back to normal. You can get it to go back to normal.
It's so funny and stupid. But yeah, I still think his hair looked really good. Even like Raru is crazy, like down to his calves hair because he's like.
But I still stand by that the Zelda short hair was a revolution, and everybody simped on Twitter when that was announced. And all I'm saying is, where are you at now, guys? It was still the year. It was still the year. Come back. You can repent.
Well, then they saw what Ganondorf looked like, and they didn't care how attractive the heroes were.
I like Zelda's Tears of the Kingdom hair, but I still prefer the long hair.
See, I don't. I'm very much sure. We had this fight last year though with Mio.
If it wasn't,
short hair's better. Short hair is better on these characters.
Typically, I would be in agreement with Kyle because the longer the hair, the better, as you would know by just.
You're scared of haircuts, Hunter. Just admit it. You're scared of haircuts.
But
he's afraid of scissors.
The way that
his biggest fear all this time. Hunter's just been scared of scissors the whole time.
Carrying sword collector, afraid of
scissors. A pair of scissors. He's like, fuck.
But anyway, if Zelda's hair was just short and didn't have like the cool styling on it, I would be more inclined to agree with you. But I think the way they styled it in this game was really good.
Your Honor.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks good.
Do be cringe sometimes, Your Honor. I rest my case. Thank you very much. No, here's my thing. The reason I also, most of the time, I think that long hair does look better. Here's my counter argument. Nintendo Switch has got this pee-poo-poo hardware that's still running on fucking DOS or whatever, where they've still got PS3 basically looking asses running around. They don't have the hair tech. If Nintendo had the hair tech, if they had the fucking
unstoppable.
They'd be unstoppable.
Imagine Ganondorf with the hair
but
tech.
Because we've got goofy goblin hair from the Nintendo Switch. It's like long hair, it clips, it crops, it looks like sometimes like Zelda in Breath of the Wild. I like Zelda in Breath of the Wild's design, but a lot of the time her hair, especially in Age of Calamity, I don't know if you ever noticed this one too, just looks like one matte blob on the back of her. Like if you look at Zelda from behind, just one
Dude,
massive
I don't think that
blob.
any amount of technology is ever going to fix hair clipping issues. Even in Baldur's Gate, my character's hair is still going through the collar of his jacket.
Yeah.
Which it was Mio. Mio was really pissing me off in Xenoblade 3 with the long hair. It annoyed me that much. I did originally pick long hair. I went back and I changed it instantly. I didn't even know it was an option in the settings. I just reloaded my save and watched half an hour of
Oh my
cutscenes
god.
again because I was like, no, 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 no.
We watched
No,
the
no, no,
cutscenes
no,
again.
Crash.
Of course, it's fucking
Why
peak.
didn't you just skip
It's
them?
peak fucking. It's peak
Well, I
fiction.
mean,
You do
yes,
not
that
skip
was
cutscenes.
peak,
You don't skip
but also
cutscenes,
that was
baby.
an hour of cutscene.
Don't care. You don't skip. None of my homies skip cutscenes. That's cringe. Anyway,
I
I think we're
respect
just
it.
gonna have to pick here. I think we're just gonna have to pick an answer each here because I think this is gonna be really hard because I don't think we're gonna agree on anything.
Probably not. What if we just say they're all winners?
Nah, fuck off. Let's do something.
Okay.
I
As
mean,
funny
I'm
as a
gonna
pick
have to
as
go.
Portal was,
I mean, he's a very well rendered puppy, man.
he is a good pup.
He is a good pup.
I think I'd.
What?
Nothing. I'm just thinking to myself.
Well, I know who I'm picking out of all of these. Because I know I just went off on a Zelda rant for 20 million years, but Leon defined a generation of emos, and it's like he is just Leon Kennedy is peak
I don't know if he
he
defined it or if he just co-opted it.
No,
I
he
think that
defined.
hairstyle was around when
There
took
are millions of young gamers who saw Leon Kennedy and went, "He is the coolest fucker I have ever seen in my life. I will be Leon Kennedy." And that's what happened in the late to early 2000s and 2010s. And he's
He
an
didn't
icon.
create that style, but he owns it.
He owns that style. He slayed it, Hunter. He absolutely slayed it, and that's why he is
That's
king.
fair enough.
So that's my win. Leon wins for me. Also, the hair tech in Resident Evil 4, fucking mental. Absolutely mental.
It is pretty good.
I love a good piece of hair tech, dude. I love it. I can't tell a shit about 4K graphics. I couldn't give a shit about ray trace reflections. I see some good hair strand tech. I'm like, ooh, baby, that's the shit. Also, no, it's not hair, but the fluff on his jacket as well in the first chapter. Oof.
Oh yeah,
Good jacket. Anyway,
good jacket.
you two, make a choice. Pick your demons.
I think I'm probably going to give it to Ganondorf.
Ah, nice.
The more I'm thinking about him, the more I'm like, damn, that red was real good.
Yeah, Ganondorf definitely has the hair styles that I think are the best this year. I think if I were to boil it down to the most well rendered, I'd probably give it to Cal because his hair is distractingly well rendered in every version of the game he's shown up in. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Ganondorf.
Well, then we have Ganondorf as an overall winner then. There you go then.
Yeah.
Ganondorf
work,
wins by
Ganon.
default. Fuck
Shout
off,
out to
Leon.
Marin's hair too.
Well, no shout out to Marin's hair because you didn't nominate her, so no shout out to you.
Well, I said it
16th
anyway,
place
so.
for you.
No honorable mentions.
No honorable mention. Anyway, moving on. It's time for the hottest music / score. This is for the best music that we think has shown up in a video game this year. I said this. Don't remember if I said it last week or in the Game Awards episode all that long ago. We've been recording these so out of order. I don't know where we are anymore or who I am as a person. It's
I
been a
forgot
wild
we were
ride.
recording today.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. We've been recording every weekend day for like the past 3 weeks, Kyle. I don't blame you. I don't even know what day it is.
I thought we were caught up at this point.
No.
I'm like, man, we got Friday off. Hell yeah.
No Friday off for you.
No, Crash.
But I said it in the Game Awards episode, I believe. Very strong year for video games. I personally think there's been some good soundtracks this year, don't get me wrong. But compared to last year and some of the years prior, I think it's slightly weaker.
I don't know. I feel like if FF16 had just gotten nominated over Mario or Resident Evil, it would have been fine.
Well, let's start with mine. My nominations for the best music and score
It's all
are
Mario.
Zelda Tears of the
Funny.
Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, Xenoblade Chronicles Future Redeemed, and Hi-Fi Rush. I think up it. Xenoblade music is always great. I don't know what it is. Something about Spider-Man music. Whenever I hear the Spider-Man music, I'm like, fucking bop. I love the Spider-Man music. Whoever scores the Marvel Spider-Man games, I don't know how they do it. They're one of those people, Murray Gold, who does Doctor Who as well, is one of those things where it's like, I don't know how you make all this music that has to fit one specific scenario, but you still make everything feel like in video game context feels like a movie. Where I'm like, it feels like so orchestrated and so well done. I'm like, fucking yes, mate, good for you.
They had like really well placed usages of licensed music in Spider-Man 2 as well.
Yeah.
Like one of the side missions, and even just being blindsided by Cigarette Daydream in the opening hours of the game was funny.
Definitely. Hunter, where are you going?
All right, I have got Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Tears of the Kingdom, Sea of Stars, and Coffee Talk 2.
Solid picks. And Kyle?
And I've got Octopath 2, Street Fighter 6, Sea of Stars, FF16, and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising.
Damn late entry there for Grand Blue Fantasy.
It came out yesterday as of the day of recording.
Wow, way to date us, Kyle. Happy New
I'm
Year,
like-
everybody. It is 2024 and we're living in the future. That's
Woo!
crazy. Flying cars and everything. I mean, to me, it's always been between two for this one. And I think one is for use of music and the other is for the actual
sheer
music.
volume,
The sheer
of
volume
music.
of the actual music and quality of it. And that is Hi-Fi Rush for the use of music and FF16 for the quality of music. Because the one thing that didn't dip in Final Fantasy 16 is the fucking bangers. They just kept going and going. But that's Final Fantasy in a nutshell. Like every time.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, how are you feeling, Hunter?
Well, between those two, yeah, I definitely see the argument for either of them, but I liked Final Fantasy 16's music a little bit more for as much as I enjoyed Hi-Fi Rush's.
Again, Hi-Fi Rush had some good uses of like Liza's music and things like that as well.
The the Invaders Must Die moment coming out of the cannon was great.
Yeah. But again, like there's no like fucking fan flames. It's just like every time it's like, damn, why didn't you get nominated for Game of the Year? I'm still mad. Just wanted to hear that. Flute guy have a little bit of a FF16 rave in the corner. You'd love to see it, like gosh. Kyle, you've got the more unique picks of the three of us. So, do you want to go into depths with some of them?
No, I'd probably give it to FF16.
Well, there you go then. Congratulations, Final Fantasy 16. You are the winner of the Best Music and Score Award. I feel like who won it last year? Was it?
I think we might have split it
Did we split the vote last year? I
these
hate when,
categories.
I only see Xenoblade 3 here, and that's all that I
Yeah.
care about, baby. That's all I care about. Anyway, next up, that was quick. That was good for us. If only we did all the other categories that quickly, we might have made this an hour instead. Oh well. Next up is the hottest performance. This is for the best performance of 2023. I really struggled with this one. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought this one was easier than music.
Okay, I personally disagree. So here are my opinion. In fact, no. Who goes first this time? Is it Hunter goes first this time? Hunter, you go
Is
first.
it my
Hunter.
turn?
It's your. Oh, is it Cal's
Alrighty
turn?
then.
Cal, you go first then. I thought you just had it.
Yeah, if it was so easy, you go first.
Okay.
You go first then, Cal. Fuck it.
All right. So I've got Erica Mendez for her role as Throne in Octopath 2.
Okay.
I've got Rory Alexander for his role as Matthew in Xenoblade Future Redeemed.
Didn't think of that one.
Alex Lee for his role as Luke in Street Fighter 6.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Ben Starr for his role as Clive in Final Fantasy 16. And Niall Newman as Asterion in Baldur's Gate 3.
I'll go next. I've got a different way of going about this, so let's roll with these punches. Mine are Ben Starr for his performance as Clive in Final Fantasy 16. Yuri Lowenthal for his performance as Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. I did the double dip of Naji Jetta from Spider-Man 2. I tried to pick games that I played this time instead of just going, oh, look at these good performances from other games I haven't played. So, yeah. Apologies, Neil Newman. Haven't played it. Maybe one day. Karen Monahan, surprisingly, he got here in the last minute for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And Robbie Damon for Chai in Hi-Fi Rush. And I want to specify that this is just because it was Robbie Damon being Robbie Damon, and Ethan loves a bit of Robbie Damon, so
It's a really
I'll
good
allow it.
performance. Like
it's a brilliant
it's
performance.
if it wasn't as good as it was, Hi-Fi Rush would not have been as good.
I
Like
was watching someone play it the other
action
day
games like this.
while I was doing. This is the only reason it's on here. Is I was watching a playthrough of it again the other day, and it was just the moment after the tutorial that's in his head that it's just him
Where he's
standing
hallucinating
there,
and he's
just cheering,
chanting to
going,
himself.
Chai,
Yes,
Chai,
it
as the
was so
robot's
good.
just staring at him as he's having a fucking mental breakdown right in front of him,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm like that's
Like,
like honestly.
Action games like this need charismatic protagonists, or it's just
I
like
also want to say
lame.
that,
Yeah.
but I also was also tempted to, because I realized that I actually don't have any female representation in my list. I was going to give it to Erica Lindbeck for being Erica Lindbeck, but I feel like I did that last year
I
or the
very
year
much
before.
thought
So I'm
about
like,
it too,
so I'm like,
but
you
I
know
feel
what?
like I've been trying to do that every year
Yeah, I
we've
was
done
like, I think
this,
I've already
even
played that
before we
card.
had this category.
I'm like,
So,
I'll probably play it next year when she's in something else that I
yeah,
like.
when she's in
so,
something else.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's fair enough. Anyway, Hunter, what are yours?
Alrighty, I have got Ben Starr as Clive from Final Fantasy 16. Tina Ivlev from Jedi Survivor as Marin. Sorry. Jennifer England from Baldur's Gate because as
Oi, oi.
Shadowheart. Yeah.
Big ups.
And dude, this one, I got to a part earlier today where I was like, man, I want to change my vote to Karlach now. Because her voice actor had a really good scene that I had yet to get to. But
too bad
I forgot to change
closed.
it. Yeah. Sorry, Samantha Beer. I don't know how to say her last name. But and then Najee Jeter from Spider-Man 2, and then David Harewood from Alan Wake 2. He was exclusively in the live action footage, but
Nice.
he was a super interesting character for all the more screen time he had. It felt like very captivating when he was on screen.
David Howard's a really interesting actor.
He brought a lot of gravity and intrigue to this character.
Dude, I've seen him in
played.
so many things because he just obviously he's a British actor, so like he's done a lot of stuff in Hollywood recently and over in America recently, but I've seen him in so many things. He's been in so many random things, so it's like I've seen him everywhere. All over the place. He was in Doctor Who at one point.
Oh, nice.
And everything. So I'm like, I've just seen that guy's just a face that I just instantly recognize every time. I'm like, oh yeah. There he is again, just popping up out of nowhere. I know who I want to give it to.
I think the answer is obvious.
Yeah.
I want justice for Ben Starr, dude. I want justice.
Yeah, exactly.
So congratulations, Ben Starr. Yeah, you are the hottest performance of the man, dude. Like, even from Twitter, he wins best performance just from his fucking Twitter. Like, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I think that Neil Newman did a really good job, but I don't think anybody embodied their character as much as Ben Starr did, and very dedicated person to that role.
Yeah.
Not just in the like just marketing and just everything and just all the things that he's done. It's like, man, brilliant performance all around. I also realise I should have put Sid's voice actor if I was going to double dip. Should have thought about that, but you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Because man, I love Sid's voice in Final Fantasy 16. Also great.
It was pretty great.
Anyway, moving on. It's time for hottest art style. For, you guessed it, the best art style. Wow, that's crazy. Where do we come up with these wild and crazy ideas?
How does he do it?
How do we do that? Who's next? I don't even know. Who went first last time? Hunter,
All right,
Hunter, do the thing. Do the thing.
All
Well,
right.
Hunter was supposed to go first last time, and then you guys bullied me, so
Oh, cool. Even better. I thought it was Hunter, but the counter was like,
it was
Kyle.
Hunter.
I thought it was Hunter. Fucking gaslit
Okay,
me.
so my nominations for Best Art Style were Sea of Stars, Tears of the Kingdom, Coffee Talk 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Alan Wake 2.
Fucking cow. No, I'm kidding. Them good picks. Uh, is it me
I'll
next?
go.
Go on, Cal. You go. Fuck it. There's no rules anymore. Free for all.
Yeah, who cares, dude? I've got Octopath 2, Street Fighter 6, Sea of Stars, Grand Blue, and Hi-Fi Rush.
No, that's great.
Because
Ethan's
damn, that's a pretty game.
Hi-Fi Rush, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Sea of Stars, Pizza Tower, and Resident Evil 4 remake. Again, Resident Evil 4 remake, I just think is a
Ethan
really
loves his
solid
hair tech.
presentation. Sea of Stars, best looking game. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, fabulous art style. Hi-Fi Rush, incredible art style. Pizza Tower, so fucking ugly that I love it so much. Like, I love it dearly. It's like perfect indie game development. It's like Undertale of development. You know what I mean? Where you're like, this is goofy ass shit.
Yeah,
and you just
yeah,
got,
where
like,
it looks where it's
Splurg, and
like
it's like fucking
silly but perfect. Like Pepino or whatever his name
Yeah.
is looks horrendous from like an ocular standpoint,
from
but it's the
every
perfect
angle.
design.
But then when you watch gameplay or you play the game yourself, and all of his animations are so fluid and like so
Yeah.
smooth, you're just like, oh, like you just perfected it, man. You did. You absolutely perfected it. What we feeling? Anyone got any gut reactions?
I've been and continue to be impressed by Hi-Fi Rush throughout the entire year. The part where it went from the in-engine visuals back to the filmic looking part,
The
and then
anime cutscenes
back,
and them, yeah.
yeah, and then back again, all without feeling jarring or breaking the mood at all, was so cool.
Yeah, I can 100% agree. I think for a lot of things, for me, it's like a lot of the huge AAA games this year. They all look good. They all have great art direction, but it's like all very samey to me in a way where it's like
Yeah.
realism is realism. Whereas like most of the time when I'm looking for a really cool art style, it is more of the smaller games, the more quirky games like Pizza Tower, Hi-Fi Rush, Coffee Talk, where it's like something interesting, something that differentiates it from the others. I mean, I kind of agree. For me, it's Hi-Fi Rush. I think it's just it
Even
just
down to
hits
just the way they
different,
designed the
baby. You know, it's
characters and
just like
stuff. Like, you wouldn't think that the generic robots would look that good either, but I think that they're good design. I
I
could
don't
point
even
at
think
these
it's just
robots and be like,
it's
yo,
not even just how they
Hi-Fi
look. I think
bots.
it's the whole presentation of it. I think
Yeah.
the fact that not only is the art style so strong and it manages to switch between animation and the gameplay so rapidly, it's how everything stays in time with the music, even when it
Yeah.
switches to the cutscenes. It's how the environments and the art style is living and breathing to the beat. It's not just Chai snapping his fingers and stomping his foot. If you
No,
look at
it's
the cars
everything.
going past in the background, they're stuttering to the beat and the engines are going, and it's like so much
So
time and
impressive.
effort just had to go into the way that game presents itself that I'm like, it's so impressive to me. Kyle, do you have anything to add?
Nah, I mean, Hi-Fi Rush is a super pretty game. I wished I could play it.
Maybe one day you will, Kyle. Maybe one day
Maybe
you will.
one day I will.
Hi-Fi Rush it is then. Congratulations, Hi-Fi Rush. You did it. Good job. It's time for a fun one.
Oh, baby.
I have a
boy.
little inkling that some of you cheeky buggers will have snuck into this timestamp a bit early. What are you doing? You want some negativity? Well, we'll give you some. This is the Worst Company Award. One of our favourites yet again. This is for the worst company of 2023. And oh boy, it works out that I get to go first. That's so nice. Thank you. There's many ways to go this year with this.
There was a surplus of options this year.
I targeted some specific ones in particular, but I just want you to know that I'll still accept review codes. I'll just be shitty about it. Anyway.
Yeah.
My nominations for the shittiest companies of this year go to Epic Games for the mass amount of layoffs that have happened at Epic Games. Also, the fact that they keep trying to make a metaverse, the fact that their online store is still shit. Alleged human Tim Sweeney is also a bit of a weirdo, and I don't like. I just don't like Epic Games. I think it's safe to say that they seem to be like they're the kind of company that's like, we're one of the good ones, we're a little good boy company, ooh ooh, and then they just fuck it. They're like trying to be monopolistic at
That
every
means they're
possible
hiding
turn.
something.
Straight up.
Allegedly,
It
allegedly
makes me
monopolistic.
so angry that Mediatonic won, but they didn't. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so infuriating.
Uh,
And now their game's gonna have to live in Fortnite because it's gonna
Eventually.
get shut down
Yeah.
unless you want to play it in Final Fantasy 14, like a real one.
Hear that, Ethan? Come to Final Fantasy 14. We got Fall Guys.
I think that ship
There's your
sailed.
incentive to play.
Two companies here, Xbox and Activision, also have had part of the layoffs, so that's also why they're here. They're also here because fuck me, the Activision Xbox acquisition took that long, and it pissed me off that much because it would never end, and I just wanted it to be over. So they're here out of
Yeah.
spite because I was sick of hearing about it.
Yeah,
I'm happy it's
and-
over. That's the most I can say, really.
I'll throw PlayStation into that whole category too, because they were the opposite end of that and equally as annoying.
That, and again, layoffs and all that jazz, and just the whole industry kind of collapsing on itself. And also Sony's attempt. This is why I say, even though Sony hasn't particularly had as many layoffs as other companies, they've also stuck all their eggs in the games as a service basket. So
Yeah.
potential layoffs coming soon. But yeah, it's mainly that. And then final, Embracer. I feel like Embracer Group have been going under the radar a bit too much in past years for shittiest companies. For those who don't know, they are one of the big companies like Tencent. Tencent would also go on this list event. If I could have a fucking another slot, I'd give it Tencent. But Embracer bought up a load of companies. They bought up fucking everybody. If you look up who Embracer owns, so many fucking companies. And then like Volition, Deep Silver, you know, bye bye Saints Row and lay off everybody.
The Time Splitters guys got shut down before they could even make their game.
Yeah, bye bye. Join the fucking queue of all the other 10,000 people laid off because this industry's fucking shit. Yeah. So there you go. Those are my shittest companies. Hunter.
Alrighty. Well, you know. I've also got Embracer Group. I've also got Epic Games. I've got Unity.
Oh, I forgot about Unity. Oh,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, Unity.
I forgot about Unity.
I've got Bobby Kotick and PlayStation.
Yeah. Solid picks. Kyle.
I've got a lot of overlap between y'all. I've got Unity, Epic Games, and Embracer, and my brain couldn't be bothered to think of two more shitty companies. There's too many.
Well, you take your pick. We've given you plenty. If you want to,
Honestly, yeah,
you know
dude.
What? You just put in your fourth slot right there. If you can just put Tencent for me real quick, that'd be great.
I thought about doing that.
Do you know what the best thing is about this category, everybody? You're waiting for the drum roll. Everyone's a fucking winner this year. They're all shitters. Fuck them all, dude.
Yeah,
they all win.
horrible.
Congratulations. Everybody wins. You all win because you're fucking shit. And you won't hear that at the game.
Certainly not. Mostly because Jeff wouldn't give you time to say it.
No, wrap it up. That's cool. 10,000 layoffs. That's cool, but please wrap it up, please. We gotta show Timothy Chalamet on. Come on.
But yeah, glossed over the Unity thing a little bit, but like, screw them.
Yeah.
Trying to charge the people or whatever that whole ordeal was.
And I know they've done
like,
a 180, but still, it's like damage done. Like,
you shouldn't
Yeah.
have tried. Come on.
In any other year, Unity would have won easily. Like, it'd be a very easy thing to go here. It'd be very easy. But here's the thing: is it's literally Epic Games fucking trying their hardest. They're trying their hardest to be the worst company out there at the moment, allegedly. Embracer again, allegedly terrible with handling of staff and IP and just literally letting things self-destruct. They have
Embracer literally put landmines in their front yard and forgot where they put them and then
yeah,
stepped on them
yeah.
every week this year.
So yeah, they're all shitters. And remember, guys, this is all allegedly, and this is all for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
especially because I always talk about this like I'm an American and I'm not. And sometimes UK libel laws are a lot stricter. So remember, it's all
Oh
allegedly and it's
no.
all for
Oh
entertainment
god.
purposes and it's all said in jest. Thank you.
Haha.
Cover my ass. Because sometimes I'm like, you know, it's funny. I could get in trouble, but who cares? Because, like I say, alleged human Tim Sweeney, what the fuck are you doing? Come on now. Come on.
The HGO podcast is fictional in any
It's a work of
realm.
fiction. Any resemblance to real life is
Yeah,
simply by
yeah,
coincidence.
exactly.
I remember that the HGO was made by a team of people who are not part of the games industry.
Yeah.
Opinions may not reflect those inside of the games industry. Um,
Uh,
but oh well. Let's move on. Next up, hottest indie. There have been plenty of indie games, but which one was the
oh,
best? Hunter gets to
I-
decide because we don't
yeah,
know.
Hunter, wanna show yours?
yeah, sure.
Because I don't think I should start this category.
I think you should. If anything, I
Alrighty.
think Cal should
Just
start this
yes,
category. If
just
anything.
yes.
Oh my god. Oh, you did probably. Anyway, I'm gonna start. Uh, my picks are Coffee Talk 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, Sea of Stars, Dredge, The Last Faith, and Gunbrella.
Mm-hmm. Kyle.
So I did not play a lot of indie games this year.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's only 2 entrants in here, please don't yell at me.
No, I will. Yeah.
I've got Sea of Stars and a game called Class of '09, the re-up.
You know what? That's better than I thought was going to be under there.
What
I
did you think
figured.
this was going to be? 5 entrants of Dave the Diver?
I thought it was going to be Dave the Diver, but like spaced out across all 5 of them. Yes.
Dave the Diver.
Come on, man! I haven't played that
Anchor
one either.
emoji.
That would. I'm not sure that would stop you if you thought it would be funny enough.
Well, let's go with mine.
No.
I went for Coffee Talk 2, Pizza Tower, Planet of Lana, which is an Xbox game, indie game that I played on Game Pass for an hour, so it counts. It's pretty good. It's got like an 80 something on. Why am I trying to fucking justify my own fucking picks? Insecurity much? Cassette Beast.
Do it with Cassette Beast because I think its score was higher.
No, really? Cassette
I
Beast.
believe so.
Yeah, because Cassette Beast is a Pokemon clone that was alright when I played it, but then I remembered, oh wait, I don't like Pokemon that much anyway. But it was a quality game. Well, there's one game that everybody put on that list,
Correct.
That would be.
but
Sea of
also I feel
Stars.
like Hunter is the more educated pick here. Because, like I say, I've only played. Well, I've dabbled with all of them, but Sea of Stars. I didn't install it, but you know, I have dabbled with all of these,
Yeah. Uh,
and I do.
yeah,
have a
I'd
favorite.
say that overall, Sea of Stars takes this. I'd say so.
Okay,
Like it was really good,
congratulations, Sea of Stars.
but like all of these games in mine, and I'm sure the other ones do, are fantastic. I really
Oh,
like
there's so many
Dredge.
that we haven't talked about
Yeah.
or haven't
AK,
played.
it breaks my heart that I didn't nominate AK Zalotl, but like
Hmm.
I just think these other ones are too good.
Yeah. No, fair enough. There's plenty of stuff to really like. Like I say,
Kyle, what's
Pizza Tower
Class
as
of
well.
'09 re-up?
So good.
I don't know what that is.
What is? What
I
was
wanna
it?
know.
So, Class of '09, it's a visual novel made by Lyle Rath.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
the musician.
Ah,
that's cool.
It basically takes place during a high school's senior year in the year 2008 to 2009. Honestly, dude, it's on here just for the fucking writing. This game is unhinged.
Ooh, that's
And
exciting.
like Elsie Lovelock and
I've seen some of
Kaylee
that guy's
and
YouTube
Kaylee
stuff.
Mills, like they nail the 2 main characters perfectly. It's
it's
just
on Steam.
like honestly, y'all check it out. It's I think it's really worth your time if you're just interested in seeing some people be like the worst people imaginable.
Yeah, if you like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, this is the game for
Yeah.
you.
Oh God! But if you don't like It's Always Sunny,
I guess make you skip it. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know,
this will be
ignore it.
funnier.
I think that's one fight. That's one fight that I've had with so many of my friends before because I just don't. I don't know why. It just doesn't click.
I think
Always
there
something
are other
doesn't click
shows
with me.
that are better at being about terrible people that are funnier.
Community.
Shameless.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it's. I always have a problem with stuff like that. Same with like in-betweeners in the UK and stuff like that. I always have a hard time because I think it's really hard when you're making one of those shows to, and most people don't notice it, what the difference is in being a clever writer and just using that as
And
an
they're just
excuse
being
to
like,
write your shitty
haha,
things
we're
out.
horrible.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
and it's like sometimes I feel like when you're a writer of that, it's very hard to draw the line. And a lot of it's just shock value. And it's like, well, it's not clever. You're just going, what would a shit person do? And that's what you're trying
Right.
to just go with it. But hey, I'll take your word on it. It's on Steam though, Cal. Steam, mate. Playing games on Steam. You don't
Hey
play games.
man, I had
What
to
did you
play
reinstall
Coffee
Steam?
Talk on Steam.
Hey man. Be glad I'm using Steam.
You reinstalled Steam?
Yeah.
No.
Among Us later?
It
We're
sounds
not
like
going that
Cal
far,
really
Hunter.
missed golf with your friends. Anyway.
Nah, dude, I had to see all the Hacker Man in Team Fortress 2.
Ah.
Oh no.
Had to see it all for myself.
Well, it's time for Hottest Narrative. There have been many a story this year in video games, but only one of them was the bestest story of the year.
So true, bestie.
Who went first last time? It's your time, Carl.
I did.
You
Yeah,
big
I can
narrative
go
boy.
first
Big
here.
narrative boy. What have you got?
Yeah, dude, all the big narratives this year. I got Octopath 2, Xenoblade Future Redeemed, FF16 with an asterisk, and Baldur's Gate 3. The asterisk on FF16 is, like Ethan said, the first half of the video game.
Who's next? Is it me or you, Hunter? I think it's you. You go, Hunter.
I'll go. All right. So I had Final Fantasy 16, Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Jedi Survivor, and Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, they're all pretty. They're pretty solid. And then let's finally go with mine. Mine are Raincoat. Let him
Wait.
cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
All right, cook.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Where am I? Where am I reading? No, I didn't even put
Hottest
Zelda Kingdom.
narrative.
Fuck yeah, I'm reading the wrong one. Raincoat, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Starfield, Final Fantasy 16 with an asterisk. First half of the game, really fucking good. And Spider-Man 2. Raincoat is just fucking stupid. Hear me out.
Yeah. I'm hearing you out, dude. I want to hear you out.
The thing about one at this point, I was like, I don't want to keep as Future Redeem. The Xenoblade is just built a lot on Xenoblade 3, so it's like I can't keep doing this every single time. Also, controversial opinion: everybody loves the fucking story of Future Redeemed. I think the story of Future Redeemed is the worst factor of Future Redeemed. I think there's some good stuff there. I would have much rather they just focused on A and Matthew instead of doing the nostalgia bait and all that jazz. I think there's some really great moments. I feel like a lot of it's unnecessary. Whereas Raincoat is just a fucking masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Story top tier. Nothing unnecessary there.
I'm not gonna lie, I was tired and sleep deprived. I think there's some really clever things that Raincoat does. I think there's also some it's a mixed bag where it's like I think in terms of Danganronpa usually tries to go for a chapter 1 twist. And I think as it goes for chapter 1 twists in this, I don't think it's as strong as Danganronpa 3's chapter 1 twist, but it was genuinely one of those things where I'm like, I did not see that coming this early on. I thought it was an interesting kind of the whole mystery of the first one. I'm like, I that's pretty cool. I like that you did that because I wasn't expecting it.
Retrospectively, it is cool. I just spent most of the time not believing that it was gonna stick, and also I was still
I
right
believed it
about
was.
the
I played Danganronpa 3. I'm like, I expect this to stick. I was also expecting them to then come back later with other characters that were worse because that was what I was expecting. Hunter, I was expecting them to come back with worse later. I was like, thankfully they weren't.
I just spent most of the time believing that they were gonna pull a haha gotcha, and also I still predicted the culprit before anyone died.
Oh, same. It's very predictable, but I think there's some interesting and fun stuff, and it's character dynamics for that for me, which I really like.
The character dynamics were really good.
in terms of main cast, there wasn't anyone that I particularly hated, and I think all the characters bounced off well in a way where it's like that. In something
Well,
like
hold on.
Danganronpa or the visual novels,
Shimigami.
there's a lot of characters in like, or what's his fucking Oda or whatever in AI the Somnium Files.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Ota
Ota, that's it. Whereas there's always one
smells.
character where I'm like, shut the fuck up, will you go away? Will someone kill you, please?
I
Like, come
can't
on.
wait until you die.
Yeah, and then they never do. And this game didn't have me doing that. It genuinely didn't have me going, oh, when will you die, stupid character?
Yeah,
Didn't
I
really
liked all
happen.
of the central cast. They were really good.
Gameplay's a hot fucking mess with that game, but I liked the quirky story. I kind of liked. If we take the whole moral ambiguity that is not ambiguity in the slightest out of it, I think there's a fun
Yeah.
little narrative there.
It gets better the more it goes on for the most part too.
I think it's better in retrospect as well when you take the shitty gameplay out of it and you just look back at it as a story and go, as a story.
it's probably better as some cutscenes.
As some cutscenes, it was some good cutscenes, and I'd probably
Get a
watch
friend to
second
play
lot
it
of
for
those
you.
cutscenes if they make a second lot of those cutscenes, like, and maybe not make them for the Switch next time. That'd be cool. I feel like everybody else's were pretty I think like the rest of them are pretty interesting picks. Again, Final Fantasy 16 is an asterisk. Should have put an asterisk on Starfield as well. I think the first half is really strong. I think you'll either love or I think the ending to Starfield is Marmite, where you'll either love it or hate it. And I hated it, but I can see why other people like it. I still think that's dumb though. I still think forcing you to do that final choice, going, there's a final choice, and then going, but only one of them has the credits in the end. That's it. Stupid.
That certainly is a choice.
Yeah. Where are we going with this? I feel like
Good
we've
question.
all...
Seems like we're all over the board on this.
We are all over the board. I can say this about... I was going to say it.
I mean, we all have Final Fantasy 16, but two of us have an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, so does that
got
count
no
as one?
asterisks.
So then therefore we've got two people with Final Fantasy 16 if we both like half of it.
But we like the same half.
Yeah, but it still counts as a whole.
Yeah, but if you just put them together, it still makes a whole.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the person's backwards.
There's a part of me that can't sit here in good faith and
like
say, I can't do it. I can't in good faith. I can't in good faith genuinely say congratulations Final Fantasy 16 for best narrative. I can't. That genuinely does not
either.
compute. I genuinely would rather give it to Alan Wake 2 or someone like something that I'm like, you know what? I haven't played it, but I can trust in that. I can put my gut in that.
Yeah.
Same for Spider.
Well, I mean, if we're crossing them off, I don't like Spider-Man's final act. So
I don't either.
Like, I should have put an asterisk next to that one by this
When
logic.
I'm looking at all of mine, I could put an asterisk among literally 4 of my 5. If you're looking at them realistically, my only one that I would actually put is Resident Evil 4 because I just liked the story of Resident Evil 4. That's it. That's
Good
the
job,
only one.
Resi 4.
Incredible.
Yeah. Resi 4.
You made it make
Resi
sense
4.
this time.
Imagine being in a story competition and you say Resident Evil has the most coherent one.
I
can't wait.
I like how you didn't fill your slots up, Cal. You put Final Fantasy 16 with an asterisk, and you didn't put RE4. I thought at least you would. You've only played 5 fucking
Because
games.
Resident Evil wasn't that compelling.
I thought it's
compelling than
it
half
was
of
good enough.
16.
Like, yeah, I see what Ethan means. Like, it's good. I feel like it was
Yeah.
a decent follow-up to what Leon went through. It's just also like,
I don't know. I wasn't really thinking of Resident Evil's story when thinking about this category, you know?
I mean, I can see what he means. I can't wait to do this the next time Devil May Cry is released.
But man,
fuck it, we ball.
so in my head, well, here's the thing, right? You both put Baldur's Gate 3, so I assume it's Baldur's Gate 3 that's winning this.
I mean, yeah, I'm willing to give it to Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like the overarching story isn't anything revolutionary. And I feel like they kind of mixed up the antagonist. I feel like the guy for Act 2 should have been the final baddie, honestly. But aside from that, that's a minor complaint. I feel like the overall experience, narratively, creating your own story in a lot of the ways, the way it lets you color in the picture, is a wonderful time.
For sure.
I
Yeah, I'd be
agree.
cool giving it to Baldur's Gate.
Okay, then that's the winner. And I also want to put a nomination for the worst fucking set of nominations in for Ethan's best narrative of 2023 because now I'm looking at all of them and I'm
Because you
like,
started talking yourself
Ethan,
out of it.
Ethan, if you'd thought about that category for 5 more minutes, you would have swapped 4 of them out for something
You know,
else.
if Spider-Man would have just been Venom Craven, this wouldn't have been a
Let it
discussion.
go, Hunter.
Never.
Yeah,
I
if Final
would
Fantasy
if I
16 had been 2 halves of a good game, we'd also be in a good situation. If
Yeah.
Ultima didn't exist, we would be fine.
uh,
If Starfield gave you the credits if you chose not to go into New Game Plus, I'd give it a pro. Fucking Raincoat. Oh my god, what a stupid fucking nomination.
now that I look at mine, I should have swapped out Star Wars for Coffee Talk.
Yeah, would have been more
Good work,
respectable.
team.
I didn't put
And
Star Wars because that.
and I didn't finish my board.
Congratulations. It's now time.
Let's talk about
It's now time for the wish
whatever's
we would have had
next.
time for award, which is
Oh, rad.
the award. It's Kyle's favorite award of the year. In fact, Kyle's actually
Oh,
been
yeah.
playing games this year, so it might have been harder for him this year.
Dude, I'll go first on this one.
No, yeah. Is it your turn? Whose
I
turn
don't
was
know.
I don't know. He's volunteering though. So
Well,
who are we?
volunteer,
Are
go
you?
for it. But yeah, this is the category for a game that came out this year that we wish we would have played. Kyle, you can go first. What's
Hi-Fi Rush, baby.
okay?
I wished I had a machine to play it.
Well,
Fair enough.
congratulations, Hi-Fi Rush. You won Kyle's award. I guess I'll go next.
No,
I
I
did-
actually did a really good job of keeping on top of new releases that looked interesting to me. I
You did,
played
bud.
pretty much
You did.
everything that I would have wanted to play.
I'm proud
It's
of you.
just my computer can't run Hi-Fi Rush and I don't own an Xbox.
Say it.
So while those two were having fun, I was crying. Or
They'll
playing
eventually-
Fire
Here's the
Emblem
thing,
Engage.
right?
Same
If it-
difference, truly.
Yeah.
Right, genuinely, if it gets to a point in like a year or so, like a year, 2 years.
Ethan will just
Um,
mail you his extra Xbox because he's bound to have dupes of those.
Well, no. Well, one, maybe you'll have a
It's gonna
PC.
have British
Maybe you'll have a
plugs.
PC in the future where you'll actually be able to play it. Or two, if Xbox ever comes up with an exclusive that you actually care for, by the time
Yeah, I
in
mean,
2
maybe
years,
the Xbox should be worth buying.
yeah, in 2 years' time, no, but in 2 years' time, the Xbox Series X, Kyle, will have to have a Black Friday deal where it'll be like $120 or something, and you just can go,
Yeah.
you know what, for the price of 2 games, fuck it, I'll play Hi-Fi Rush on that.
Yeah.
Or they'll come out with a neat little Xbox Fire Stick that you can just plug into the HDMI of your TV.
Oh, that would
lovely.
be swell.
Anyway,
That's
wish
their
I had
ultimate end
time
goal.
for. I've got 5 games on mine, and 4 of these are serious. Persona 5 Tactica. It's more Persona. Wish I had time to fucking play it. Octopath True 2. I own this. I will get around to it maybe one day. If I get around to any of the bullshit Switch backlog that I have, it'll probably be that. Alan Wake 2. I wish I had the courage to play Alan Wake 2. Is what I probably would say. I
Nah,
don't
you
think
can
I'm
do
ready
it.
for Alan Wake 2 yet. I feel like there are other horror games that I would dip my toes into and test out first before that. But it's mainly because of the cool dance numbers and all the live action stuff. That kind of stuff really.
I feel like you experiencing the bit that you saw at the Game Awards in the game, you would really enjoy that part.
Yeah, I would because the theater kid in me just sees.
Yeah, I
cringe
saw
stuff
that
like
going
and go,
on,
"Oh,
and
yeah,
the
this is
first.
great."
My head jumped to like Peacemaker's intro while witnessing this
yeah,
in
100%,
real
100%.
time. So that's why I think you would like it.
It's 100% the theater kid inside me that's just like, ah, hell yeah, dude, I love shit like that. Baldur's Gate 3. It's Baldur's Gate 3. It's the one that got away from me this year. And Pikmin 4, bit of a mean pick, but also just you Pikmin fans are still screaming. And I'd love to know what the fuck you're on. Maybe one day I'll have a look, but no promises. And my winner is probably my winner for that. Honestly, probably goes to Baldur's Gate because that's the longest one. I can make excuses for the other ones all I want. One of them's 120 hours long. That's the one that I wish I had time for. Hunter?
All right. So mind picks are Dave the Diver,
Indie
like
sensation.
actually seriously. Armored Core, Lies of P, Mario RPG, Persona 5 Tactica. all of these just kind of came out at inopportune times this year. I was either doing other stuff or other stuff was about to come out or something thereabouts.
No fair.
Uh,
All solid picks.
the one that I will probably make time for once I finish Baldur's Gate is Dave the Diver.
Fair
And
enough.
then I still got a whole week off of work coming up soon, so maybe I'll knock a lot of these off by the time that this episode airs.
I mean, you can finish Mario RPG in a day.
Yeah.
That is not a long video game.
P5T and Lies of P are pretty long though, so you might have a challenge with that one.
Yeah.
Some good picks there. Some good picks. It's time that we delve into the console wars. We're gonna go and go swim in those lovely, clean, not murky waters where
cesspools.
The nice little cesspools where no one showers and they spend all their time on Twitter. My favorite. We're gonna start with PlayStation Game of the Year, or as I am going to be calling it, the Humega lol category of the year. Who's going first this time? I'll go first, I guess, because Kyle went first last. Fuck it, I'll go first. My nominees for the best PlayStation exclusive are Final Fantasy 16, shock and awe. Spider-Man 2, shock and awe. Viewfinder is a PlayStation exclusive. It is not on anything else, so it counts. I want to play it. It's on there. Humanity, PlayStation exclusive. Pretty cool indie game. And Horizon BS. That doesn't sound for bullshit. That does sound for Burning Shores. I do want to specify.
I think you and I looked up the same list of things that are exclusive.
Yeah, we did.
PlayStation.
High five.
Yeah, here we go.
Shout outs to GameSpot or whoever it was that did some nice lists.
Because like I had Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man, obviously. I thought that Viewfinder was exclusive, but I didn't know for sure, so I had to check.
I didn't. I looked them all up.
Yeah. Humanity is one that I found after Viewfinder, just kind of just sitting next to there. And then I was like, oh, Horizon had some DLC.
Yeah, we all put that.
Yeah.
But I, like y'all, I had Spider-Man and Final Fantasy 16, and then Baldur's Gate 3 with an asterisk. I know that's not console exclusive anymore, but it was a month ago when I put it on there.
Well, too bad.
I can remove it if you want.
No.
Yeah, I feel like the
Were you working on this form today?
I write these down over the year, Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Cal's got a little journal.
So what? No, I meant to tell this story earlier, but for this came out this year when I was putting those in, I put down Humanity because I'm like, I don't remember what that is. Like, I put it down like a couple months ago. I look back at it again. I'm like, I still don't remember what this is. I'm not looking it up.
It was a plus game.
It's a little puzzle game where you're a little spirit dog and you're guiding spirits of humanity through the afterlife or something.
He talked about it on the podcast.
I bet he did.
Yeah, you would.
I put it on the Forgotten Games thing because like I still haven't finished it or played it more since then. That's why I nominated it.
Well, I believe it's between two games for us here. I believe it's between Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man 2. The real question is, what do we give it to? Because here's the thing.
I like Final Fantasy 16 more.
I like that was silence. That's good audio listeners. What the fuck happened there? I know Ethan taking his time to form a sentence.
Controversial statement from Hunter.
Is he sick? Is he dying? That's crazy. I think that I also like Final Fantasy 16 more.
Yeah.
That first half's too good. Here's the thing. Spider-Man's great. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's fantastic. But Spider-Man was more Spider-Man. And also Spider-Man did some weird alien shit at the end that I did not vibe with. So it's like...
The good parts of Spider-Man were not as good as the good parts of Final Fantasy.
Yes, but I think that I liked more of Spider-Man's narrative overall because it was more of a 3/4 of Spider-Man 2's plot I really liked, whereas Final Fantasy 16 is 50%. But I still think Final Fantasy 16 is the better game of the two.
Difference.
I will not deny that. So congratulations, Final Fantasy 16. I also want to say, for the people who clown on Xbox not having video games, fucking look at PlayStation this year and tell them what the fuck do they do, because they bought timed exclusivity on that one, so it's not even really a got you there, is it? Wow.
Mm.
Yeah,
And let's be real here, 7 Rebirth has a high chance of
it's
winning it
gonna it's
next
gonna
year as well.
carry it
So,
next year too.
oh well. Next up, the hottest Xbox game for all those people that love playing 2 games. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it myself. I'm being toxic for no reason. They had some good ones this year. Ugh. Hunter, you go first.
Alrighty, sure. Hi-Fi Rush, not Starfield. Who cares?
Wow, that's lovely. I love to see
Hi-
that we're all grown up here. Kyle,
Dude, if I had cared to play other games, then sure. But like, nothing
Hi-Fi Rush,
hit the
Starfield,
radar.
and Duck. Lovely.
That's all
Now for the
caps
person who
Hi-Fi
actually
Rush
owns
and
an
lowercase
Xbox.
Starfield.
For the person who actually owns an Xbox, Starfield, Hi-Fi Rush, Forza 8, Party
Yo.
Animals, and Planet of Lana.
Yo, I forgot Party Animals was exclusive.
Not only are all 5 of these games fantastic, they're also available on Game Pass. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's not the best deal in gaming because you'll buy it for 3 years and then you never fucking use it. So you make fucking mileage may vary. I will say
I can't wait
better
to
than
play
fucking
Party
PS
Animals when I
Extra.
buy it
I'll
for
give them that
Senua.
much. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
But PS Extra is pretty good this month. As of recording, it'll be the same month anyway, won't it? Fuck it. Like it's pretty good this month. GTA,
The
wow.
Baseline Plus was
You
kind
not
of
played
it,
that decade
but
old game yet? Then now you can. Wow.
I haven't.
Wow. Do you like Overwatch?
Wow. No.
But do you like driving cars? You don't have to run.
Mm. Yo, so true.
Anyway, as the Xbox expert in this group of individuals,
expert without the E though.
yeah, exactly. I feel like I have the definitive vote here, and it's not going to disappoint Hunter or Kyle because the winner's Hi-Fi Rush.
That's right, it is.
It is the best Xbox game that's come out this year. So yeah, congratulations, Hi-Fi Rush.
More awards than Starfield. Game awards and more awards at our show.
Yeah.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Unlucky Todd. Maybe in 8 years for Elder Scrolls 6, or will that be the same game as this one? We'll find out. Hottest Switch game. This is the Nintendo Award. Other game awards that shall not be named may call this best family game. We just like to call it what it is, the best Switch exclusive. It's as simple as that, really. Kyle, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can actually talk about this one. So
That's
I've
a shame.
got Tears of the Kingdom, Future Redeemed, Fire Emblem Engage, Mario RPG Remake, and Super Mario Wonder.
Hunter.
Alrighty. Mario Wonder, Mario RPG, Tears of the Kingdom, Raincoat, and Metroid Prime Remaster. That's got a cowboy hat beside it because I didn't play it when it came out originally. So it's halfway sarcastic.
Was
And
Raincoat
here's
Switch
my
exclusive?
Yep, still is as of recording.
Raincoat is still
Wow.
a Switch, which is funny because the PlayStation season greetings card from Spike Chunsoft was of Raincoat, which is a game that's
Dude,
not on
I
there.
got the weirdest little mind bend by the PlayStation home screen the other week where it was showing Ghost Runner doing some kind of art collaboration with the Katana Zero people. So I saw Katana Zero on my PlayStation, or I saw an image of
Yeah.
Katana Zero on my PlayStation, and that has not been ported to things
You
that
should have
aren't the
been there
Switch
when
yet.
you should have been there when you were on the Xbox home screen in January, and it was advertising HBO's The Last of Us, and you were like, "That feels fucking wrong."
Oh no.
Anyway, my nominations for Best Switch Exclusive: Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Pikmin 4, because I refuse to give Fire Emblem Engage a nomination because of that fucking draw the line on that one. Rather
Fair
give
enough,
Pikmin
I'll
fans a
allow it.
Rather let the Pikmin fans be fed than Fire Emblem. Raincoat and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. I think it's fairly obvious. There's been some fantastic ones. Fantastic games this year from Nintendo. They also released everybody's 1-2 Switch, so it all gets null and void at the end of the day, because that's just how that works. But if we were counting it, it's Zelda year, isn't it? That's what happens when it's a Zelda year. We pick the Zelda game and go, "Way, good job, Zelda." There's been some fantastic games, but yeah. For me, it's Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if you guys have any objections. I know, Kyle, you love Mario RPG Remake, but
I mean, yeah, but that's the same great game from 1995 or whatever.
yeah, Metro Prime, same kind of deal. And Future Redeemed, fantastic game, but it's it's DLC for
An
the game of year
expansion,
last year. Yeah, so
and
Tears
it's
of the
like
Kingdom.
20
Congratulations.
hours. Yeah.
I know we won't have a chance to talk about it, but I do think it's really funny because with the Game of the Year discourse going around and all that jazz, the whole Aonuma interview comments where like, oh my gosh, Zelda fans, you're fucking weird. I hate you so much.
Oh, about the people getting angry about the timeline stuff again?
No, not the timeline stuff. The fact that
Oh,
Aonuma said that he doesn't understand why they would go back to the old style of Zelda because they feel like they've done enough of it and it's time to go in a new direction. And Zelda fans took that in the wrong way, where I'm like, trust me, like I'm like, I feel like he's got a point. They did so many 3D Zeldas in the Ocarina style that even if they don't
Yeah.
do another Breath of the Wild style, there's other places to go.
yeah.
They could try
So
doing more
also,
linear
like,
storytelling in an openish environment. They can try doing that instead.
yeah,
They could give Link a gun.
give Link a voice.
Oh,
Please don't. Please don't. They've tried giving everybody else in Zelda a voice, and 90% of them aren't good, so please don't do that. Or please hire the fucking studios that do the other anime games,
Let
please,
let Ben Starr do it. He'd be great.
I'm Link.
Where's Zelda?
Tingle.
Where is she?
I have to kill
Torgal's
Ganondorf.
Tingle.
Still
Tingle.
a giant wolf, though.
Go Tingle.
Sick him, boy. Epona, come here.
Sick'em Tingle.
What do you want, Pura?
God, in a perfect world.
It would be so good. Like,
Yeah.
before this year, I think my fantasy pick for Link's voice was Xander Mophis, but Ben Starr has supplanted
Oh, that's a good
that.
shout.
It would be very funny. Anyway, next up on our list is Best Backlog Game. This is a fun one that we like to do,
Yeah.
where we take all the games that we played this year that weren't from the year 2023 and say which ones our favourites are. It'll be pretty fun. Who is up first here for hottest Switch exclusive?
I think it's my turn.
Go
I
on.
think it's
Best
Hunter.
backlog game.
Yeah.
And I think it's my turn.
Yep, go for it. I know we're on
Alrighty.
Backlog Game. I just fucking said
You said
that.
Switch exclusive a second ago.
Well, that's
Yeah,
just
you
me
did.
being
So
stupid. I'm telling you, bro, it's fucking 2 a.m.
I just wanted to reiterate that it was
Some of us have to
backlog
do this
game.
at stupid o'clock. Thank you very much. No, get a move on.
No, Hunter, tell us your 5 favorite Switch games from this year.
You already did
Anyway,
that.
my backlog games that I liked this year: Chicory, Vampire Survivors, Signalis, Iron Lung Inscription. God, all of these shred.
Which one? Yeah, but you gotta pick your favorite. Which one's your favorite?
Oh, Signalis with a silver bullet. If Signalis came out this year and I played it, it would have been number 2.
Damn.
Ooh.
High praise. Kyle?
Dee, 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 dee. I've got Elden Ring, Chained Echoes, Final Fantasy XIV, Neo 2, and Final Fantasy 7.
Damn. And which one would you pick as your favorite of the year?
Elden Ring, obviously.
Well, obviously Elden Ring, yeah. Everyone's favorite.
It was,
No.
that was my most.
Every
I
year.
think that was the most interesting backlog experience this year. Was listening to Kyle go through the roller coaster of emotions he went through with Elden Ring, because it was like first week he wanted to fucking hit his head through the wall. The second week he was opening up to it again. Third week he was like, nah, back to punching the wall. And then overall he was like, you know what, wasn't that bad. And I'm like, well, that was a roller coaster.
It's not too dissimilar to your
And that was my
experience with-
March, everybody.
Yeah. It's not too dissimilar to experience or watching you experience Danganronpa.
No, this is bad. This is bad, but I'm having fun. This is bad. Like there's no time where I play Danganronpa and going, this is good and I'm having a great time. It's like, no, this is bad. I'm having a great time. Which one, Kyle?
I think in terms of sheer time sink, Final Fantasy XIV takes
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I feel like, new year, new you, Kyle. You have a fucking problem.
Look, I'd
But I
prefer
stopped
for him to
playing
have
Genshin.
yeah. Final Fantasy 14 is at least probably a quality game who can pay their voice actors
True,
and
true.
not make 700 of itself. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that he switched addictions.
Fair enough.
Hell yeah, dude. We quit heroin and started cocaine instead.
You
That
know,
makes you
well,
much more
you know what
fun.
they say, guys. Cocaine is better than heroin, but that is not financial.
It's not financial advice.
Anyway,
Legally, that was a joke.
legally, that was a joke. Um, my best backlog games were I did Game Awards logic. I did between when we recorded because Witcher 3 was over that period and it wasn't
Mhm.
nominated last year, so I'm nominating it this year. The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Donut County, The Pathless, and Psychonauts 2. I didn't realize I played so many fucking backlog games this year. I played quite a few backlog games this year, which is good for me because I never really do. Um,
Dude, meanwhile, the 5 I played were the only 5 backlog games I played this year.
I
I had
played a
like 10
lot.
others I could have
Yeah,
selected from.
my
I
winner.
was too busy with the new stuff or Street Fighter.
Yeah, my winner, Yakuza 2. Um,
Oh, nice.
it's my favorite Yakuza game that I've played. I think Yakuza 2 remake is fabulous. I think it has everything that you could ask for in a Yakuza game. It has a great story. It has a great and it has a great final boss. It has uh great characters. It has Majima in a construction hat. It has
You've won me
the
over.
Cabaret Grand Prix minigame, which is the best one in all of the franchise. It has everything. Um, yeah, that game's fantastic. Uh, really, really good. What's up next? Slept on
The
game.
2 categories I didn't do anything for because brain no worky.
Well, you can put Octopath 2 for most slept on game if you like. You can go for that.
Nah, I'm gonna leave those blank.
Okay, this is the category where Cal couldn't be bothered to show up, but we put games that we think were pretty slept on this year. Hunter, you can go first.
Alrighty. Well, don't worry, Kyle. I've got you.
Yeah,
Octopath
thanks,
2.
best buddy.
AK's a Lottle. Gunbrella. Dead Space I put here just because I feel like it got kind of forgotten about, and I want to just say that it was pretty cool still. So go
Yeah.
and play it if you missed it the first time it came out. And then finally, Coffee Talk 2.
Solid picks, really. Solid picks. You know, I'm changing one of mine. Because you just reminded me of a game that I have played, and I'm like, I put a lot of games in here that I didn't play. So I was like, I should put that one in there just in case. Because I do think there are some games that were pretty decent quality wise. So let's talk about it. Coffee Talk 2 is my most slept on thing. I'm like, more people need to play Coffee Talk. Bayonetta Origins, that game came out this year, and it was very close to putting it in that game came out this year category. But
I forgot that
Was
happened
it
this year.
was it good or something?
yeah, people that liked it really liked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it got like an
Fair
80
enough, I
something. It did
guess.
better than half of my fantasy league, so
Mm. Suck it,
That's
Redfall.
yeah.
better than I would have expected it to do.
Lies of P, I think has been hugely slept on. I think that game, it's got like an 82 or something on Open Critic. I think it genuinely deserves like an 87 or something like that. That game is fantastic. AK's Lottle and Octopath Traveler 2.
I'm not saying AK Solotl needs to have like a lot more positive reviews, but I
Mhm.
feel like it deserved better than it got.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what are you thinking, Hunter? Because Kyle doesn't get a vote because he didn't show up.
Well,
If you don't show
I
up to
guess
the
it comes
polling
down.
booth, you don't get a vote, baby.
If I had to pick like my favorite one of these that
Well,
we've
no, you
got
just got to pick
here,
on which one do you think didn't get the love it deserved.
yeah,
Think of it that way.
hmm.
Not which one's the best. Because if I was going to say which one was the best out of the ones that I picked, I'd say it was probably Lies of P. But then also, I don't think it was the slept on as much as some of the others that are on my nominations list.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Because like Octopath 2 was pretty slept on, and then once the award season came around, people were like, "Hey, remember this one?" And I don't like that didn't happen with Coffee Talk, and I think Coffee Talk is just as good in a different way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Mm.
What are you going for?
I don't know. Still, I guess I'd give it to Octopath 2.
And there you go.
You know,
Cal still wins, even though he doesn't take part.
Yahtzee.
Congratulations, Octopath Traveler 2. Most slept on game of 2023. Moving on, we have Hotly Anticipated. This is the award for a game that hasn't come out yet, so really doesn't deserve an award, but we'll give it one anyway. Cal, did you do this one?
Yeah.
Then over to you.
And you know what? I have 5 things for it too.
oh, good
So
job.
there. I've got the MGS3 remake,
Oh, nice.
Persona 3 Reload, FF7 Rebirth, Thousand Year Door remake, and Under Night in Birth 2.
Oh, I had no idea what that stood for. I thought you were going back to college for some reason.
Yeah, dude. If college was so good, why isn't there college 2?
It's because it's horrible.
it's a scam.
And which one's your
Critically
most
panned by
which
everyone
one's
who
your
comes
most
out the other
anticipated,
side.
Kyle?
My most anticipated, if you asked me back at the start of September, I probably would have said Persona 3 because I love base P3 and getting a more enhanced version of that would be awesome. But honestly, I'm really looking forward to see what they do with Rebirth now that I've played original FF7.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And that last trailer they showed at the Game Awards it's just like reinvigorated that hype.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
buying into it now.
Hell yeah. Right. Anyway, Hunter, what are yours?
Alrighty. Mine are Final Fantasy VII. Oh, God. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades 2, Senua's Saga, Persona 3, and Rise of the Ronin.
Rise of the Ronin looks super cool.
Yeah, that last trailer that they showed sold me on it pretty much.
Hell yeah. What have you got? What are you picking?
I mean,
Oh,
is
man.
that a question?
You see, the thing here is like, if I had to be reasonable about, it's like
Mhm.
overall, I'm always going to be excited for whatever Supergiant's doing next. As far as something I can tangibly feel coming,
Yes.
it's more like Final Fantasy VII is the one that I'm like, ah, yes, this will be in my hands soon. If Senua's Saga had a date, I could reasonably put that over Final Fantasy VII, but it doesn't have a date, so I'm still left in the ether of hoping it comes out next year.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, one of mine that's on here isn't coming out next year anyway.
Yeah.
So I won't worry too much about it.
I guess sheer excitement is Hades 2. Obviously.
Well, there you go. Well done, Hades. You win once again for no reason other than Hunter bias.
Yeah.
But hey, this is if anything's going to be Hunter bias, then it should be the one that's the most anticipated, I guess. I guess I'll go. My turn.
Yeah.
Persona 3 is the same verse, same as the first for the first three, right? It's Persona 3 Reload, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Hades 2. My two other ones are GTA 6. I did not realize how excited I would be for Grand Theft Auto 6 until I watched the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 and the hypocrite inside of me evaporated away and I giggled like a little boy, like, oh my, yeah, games, let's go. And then Wolf Among Us 2, which was on there last year, didn't come out. Maybe this year things will be different. I don't know.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I sure hope so.
I mean,
I feel like the longer it goes without coming out, the more
I'm
less
concerned
good
that
it's
it'll ever
looking
come
for
out.
the game.
If it doesn't come out this year, then I don't think it'll. I think I think it will get cancelled this year. If anything, if it won't get delayed out of the year. I think
it's sad to hear, but yeah, I feel like that's a possibility.
Yeah, 100%. Mine also. Here's the thing: I would never have been like this, but yeah, I'm 100% same vein. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Here's the thing: if we don't count Royal, which I never do for Game of the Year 2020, then Final Fantasy VII Remake was my Game of the Year in 2020.
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
it was just it surprised me. I didn't think I'd like it as much. I was only going to try it because I was like, I've never played a Final Fantasy. I guess I'll pick up the 7 remakes. That's the one everyone always goes hard for. So I was like, fuck it.
Mhm.
And then I played the demo. I was like, oh no, I'm
Oh
kind of
no,
loving
it's
this. And
good.
then I bought the game. And I'm like, oh no, I'm kind of loving this.
Oh no, it's good.
Yeah. And I've replayed the Final Fantasy 7 remake 4 times, I think, since 2020, and I'm planning on doing a 5th before Rebirth comes out. Like, I genuinely really love that game. That game's really special to me. And I'm really excited for Persona 3 Reload as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm very much excited for it. But again, it's that kind of comparison of Persona 3 is I know what I'm getting with Persona 3.
Yeah.
If this was Persona 6, then then that would be the real Sophie's choice of I don't know what to do here. Like, what am I gonna pick? But with Reload, I'm like, I played Persona 3. Was it last year or the year before? I don't even remember now. I think it was
It
2021.
was the year before, honestly.
So I know what I'm getting myself into. If anything, and this is my fault for playing it in 2021 and then having a remake announced in 2022. I almost wish I kind of waited a year. I feel like I'd be more excited about Reload without knowing it. I think Hunter's in the better position here
Yeah.
because I think Persona 3, even though I really liked Persona 3, I think playing old Persona 3 after playing new Persona made me a bit less I was a bit colder on it than I probably would have been if it was my first Persona experience.
See, it's a lucky thing that the remake got announced like before the port of the third game was even released. Right,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, now I definitely don't need to waste my time with the old version that's, not complete because no version of Persona 3 is complete.
Right.
Yeah.
I can
And I
just play
mean,
the
by
newest
some
one.
accounts, this one still isn't complete.
Yeah,
If you look
yeah,
at
but
it one way.
it sounds
Yeah,
like
give it
stuff
this is
that
gonna
I
be
don't
the
care
definitive
about.
version to play, 100%. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Like I say, I'm very excited for it. Our penultimate award. Here we go. We're nearing the end. This is it. This is our Not Gonna Make It award, which is the award for a game that is slated for 2024 that we do not think will make it to 2024. Kyle has faith in every game in the industry next year because he's just got a clean slate.
More like Kyle couldn't think of what games were coming out next year.
You could have done some research, buddy. You could have gone
I
to
really
Google.
didn't have time to.
Game releases
You could
2024.
have
What's
picked.
that? A
It would have been
Wikipedia
funny
article?
for him to pick a thing that like was dated for after
Yeah.
the year, like Grand Theft Auto.
Hunter, all I'm
Because it
saying, it's going to be
definitely
an easy
isn't.
fantasy critic year for us then. If Kyle doesn't know what's coming out, he's just going to be like, oh, well, there's no games. Nothing that new.
You see, I'm in the same boat. There's a lot of. I've got like maybe a handful of things to go with.
Well, good, because Return of the King, baby. I may have slipped, but Return of the King, he's coming back.
Mm.
All right, Ethan. Well, show me how it's done. Give me a preview. What do you think isn't going to make it this year?
My predictions for the Not Gonna Make It reward are Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's burnt me once, it'll burn me again. Foam Stars, Avowed, Hades 2, and Metaphor Refantasio, blah de blah blah blah, very long name for video game. I'll give you my reasons. Hollow Knight Silk Song, we still haven't seen. I honestly truly believe the next time we see Hollow Knight Silk Song, it'll be on a shadow drop. I think that game will get shadow dropped whenever we see it next. I think it'll show up in a big showcase.
Shadow dropped, like that will be so annoying because there will probably be something I'm in the middle of.
It'll be,
I need lead time for that game.
Hunter, because of their partnership with Xbox Game Pass, because it's a day and date drop. I have 100% feeling. My whole thing going into it is it'll either be at the Xbox Summer Showcase, or again, it won't be out next year. That's it. Like, that's my feeling right now. Is so mixed on that. Foam Stars, not gonna make it. I'm kind of doing a bit of a play on words here because I think Foam Stars will come out in 2024. I'm placing my money on this game gets shut down or an announcement of shut down before the end of 2024. I don't think this game is going to make it out of the year.
Oh,
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I could believe that.
Oh man, quick, Kyle, write down Crash Team Rumble. It's not going to escape next year either.
Avowed.
Now no one can play it.
Avowed. I think it's an Xbox 50/50. That game could come out. It couldn't come out. It's second half of the year. Could be anyone's guess. Hades
Yeah.
2. I have a really strong feeling that game, they're just going to wait till it's ready. And they've
Yeah.
said fall. They've already said that it's fall 2024 now. And I'm like, if they have a couple
And
of
the early access still didn't
Yeah.
even start yet, so
Yeah. So I'm not too and Metaphor again, it could very easily show up on that date. Atlas is very good at usually sticking to dates, but targets can slip. And how many times did Persona slip? How many times did Shin Megami Tensei 5 slip? I feel like there's a slip in there. It can slip into 2025. Hunter, what are yours?
Alrighty, mine are Silk Song because that's a safe bet.
Yep.
Dragon Age 4.
Dragon Age 4 scheduled for next year?
It's been
Follow-up
nebulous.
question, there's a Dragon Age 4.
Yes, there's been a Dragon Age 4 in development since like
It's called
my entire
Dreadwolf.
adult. Yeah, it's called Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and it's been in development for my entire adult life. And
Oh,
it is
my condolences.
and
its full reveal is scheduled for summer 2024.
So that could be hey,
it could be a
we've got
6-monther.
everything.
It could be a
It could be a we're gonna try for a 6-monther and then oh no, something bad happened.
Yeah,
it could be many things, and I'm not sure any of them lead to a road that makes me happy.
That's fair.
Yeah, Senua Saga didn't have a date at the last trailer, and it should have, and so I would be surprised.
I'm like, I think that's gonna make it. I think it's being delayed from. I think it's internally being delayed from like a March to a September. I think it'll still make it, but I think,
yeah,
just about.
Yeah. All right. Right. My next one. I wrote this down before I got the news that it came true.
Yeah.
Last of Us Factions.
I want to say I also had Last of Us Factions in mind, but I went back and changed it because I thought, well, it's already dead, so I changed mine to Metaphor.
And then my final pick is Suicide Squad, because would it really be that shocking if it just
didn't happen?
Yeah.
See, I think you've got a high chance of my phone starts prediction again of will it still survive to the end of 2020?
Yeah.
Will it just get it on?
Yeah.
They've already announced
like
that they're planning on doing a patch so you can play it offline. So
oh my God.
That's not a good sign because Avengers waited
if
at least a year to do
only
that.
you were making a game that looked fun.
Here's the thing: is the cutscenes do look good, but then it's like again we're doing a fucking raincoat scenario.
But the gameplay looks
like,
ass.
Yeah.
The gameplay looks well. No, here's the thing: is it's like it just looks very repetitive.
It's Splatoon, but without any like cohesion to the maps.
In my head, I'm like, I can understand the idea of. I can in my head, I'm like, I could see myself having fun in an offline game, like in just a regular open world game or whatever. I can see myself having fun playing Harley Quinn with stealing Batman's grappling hook and fucking around. I can see a fun scenario there.
I could imagine that scenario if that's what they wanted to do from the start.
Yeah.
That's not the case here. Or
well,
that's
my 100% feeling on it is the reason that people keep doing Suicide Squad, which they shouldn't do, because in my opinion, the Suicide Squad's a bad IP. You just shouldn't do it. Like it's not.
It's like the Fantastic Four. Quit it.
Stop trying to make it work.
Stop.
But I think just like everything, people go, Rocksteady probably tried other games projects, they didn't work, and probably as they always do, they probably went, well, what's a character that people like, that we like? People like Harley Quinn. They've always liked Harley Quinn in the Arkham games, but no one has trust in the brand recognition of just solo Harley Quinn. So they're like, well, we gotta do Suicide Squad then every fucking time.
It's too bad they didn't start developing this game after the show came out, because I feel like giving it being Harley Quinn with some goofy sidekicks is a better sell than Suicide Squad at this point.
It's a shame that in the
Shark Guy is one of her goofy sidekicks in the Harley Quinn show. It's a shame in the Arkhamverse
Ivy's gone, and
yeah, that is a shame.
Catwoman has also
nature always wins.
Catwoman's left the country as well, so it's like with them two gone, you can't even do Gotham City Sirens in that universe. You can't even like do a
unless you were to just I don't know, Catwoman could come back,
Yeah, but then even
and
still, it's
then
only two of them. It's two of the
make
three.
up someone else, pick someone else. I guess Huntress. I don't care.
Yeah,
Whatever.
who knows? Anyway, I'm giving my award to. I really don't. I'm giving it to fucking Hollow Knight. I've lost faith in Hollow Knight. I genuinely have.
Yeah, Hollow Knight sounds like
Well, there
the
we go then.
pick.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Silk Song. You are the winner. Come back next year where we'll be putting it up against that category once again because it won't come out. You can mark my words.
It won't even be dated.
Anyway, it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've got this far, congratulations. What are you doing with your time? But, other than that, it's time for Game of the Year. The way that we do Game of the Year here at HGO is we all have an individual Game of the Year pick. If you have been to the website in the past month, you will have already seen at hotgamesonly.com all of our articles go live. You will know what our Game of the Year awards are and what our winners are right now. So you should have been there. And you can go and read more in-depth details on each of these on the website if you're so inclined. Yeah. But we're going to go through them one by one. And we're going to start with Kyle, because we're going to do them in the order of the website.
Oh, goody. Kyle gets to start Game of the Year again.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if something calamitous happened tomorrow.
Hunter, you make it right, Hunter. Hunter, you make it right. Make it right, Hunter.
Okay, while Hunter loses his mind.
Hunter, mute your mic.
Um,
Start typing now. Get a fucking work. Get a fucking work.
Uh, uh, uh,
All right.
What are your nominees for
So
Game of the Year, Kyle?
over on my list, I've got Octopath Traveler 2,
Mm-hmm.
Armored Core 6,
Mm-hmm.
the Resident Evil 4 remake, Street Fighter 6, Baldur's Gate 3, and the Super Mario RPG remake.
We allowed 6 nominations
Yeah,
this year instead of 5 because there was that many games.
there was just a lot this year.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
my individual Game of the Year choice would definitely go to Octopath 2. Like I've said, it just does
Clap, clap,
everything
clap, clap, clap.
perfectly. And this was just a sequel I was never expecting to get. I brought this up in my article on the website, but like Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom, like those were the sequels everyone was looking forward to this year.
Mm-hmm.
Octopath 1, a couple years after it was released, Square Enix put out a mobile game for it, and usually that's just like the mark of death for a franchise.
No, it's just
So the
Square being
fact,
Square. Don't worry
no,
about
that's
that.
just
Square
I
being
feel like
Square.
that's not true. But
look, man, it could have gone either way, is what I'm saying. So the
True.
fact that my game of the year from 2018 it got a sequel, I think, like, I'm just happy. It just made me happy.
No, fair enough. Totally agree. Hunter, don't fuck up
alrighty.
our order.
Yeah. All right. So what I've got here: Final Fantasy 16, Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Sea of Stars, and Hi-Fi Rush.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like my personal pick, it would be Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I came back to this game every day for like a month straight, just overjoyed when I was playing it. Thought about what I had done the previous day at work, being like, "Oh, that was great." Every day for like a month. The end, like the final playable sequence in the game, is like the best moment in a video game that I've played this year. I think that moment hits hard and it
Mm-hmm.
is incredible.
No, fair enough. And then finally, my 6 nominees for Game of the Year are The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Spider-Man 2, and Starfield. I feel like they're pretty obvious. If you've been around the podcast, they're all pretty obvious picks for you. They're for me. My Game of the Year. I feel like the wild card right now. I feel like, ooh, where am I going? My Game of the Year for 2023 is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I finally settled on it.
Really?
Um, I think the story really lacked for me. I think that where I forgave Breath of the Wild's lack of story for its exploration and its kind of ethos, I felt that it fit the theme and the kind of whole kind of expectations of Breath of the Wild. For Tears of the Kingdom, I was expecting more and I was expecting better. And I think that apart from a few brilliant moments like Hunter's mentioned, I think the ending's really good, really strong. I think there are a couple of twists that I didn't see coming until I figured it out, and it was a whole kind of spiral. But Tears of the Kingdom showed me what it's like if you put 7 years into a sequel and shows what a glow up you can make in gameplay, yet how the fuck can you spend 7 years on a video game and make a sequel to a story and make it just as fucking barren as the first one? It's like a very weird thing. But the gameplay and the loop, and as Hunter said, the moments of day to day playing Tears of the Kingdom was just so damn strong, and I had such a good time that once again I did every single shrine, I did every dungeon out of order, I did literally, other than the Korok seeds, I practically did everything that you could possibly do. I think there were 5
Yeah,
side quests I
same.
didn't do in Tears of the Kingdom by the end, and I loved almost every moment. I just wish Nintendo for once in their life would fucking commit to something as hard in terms of story, because other than Monolith, I don't think
God,
anybody actually does that in Nintendo at
the
all.
day that Nintendo commits to like a Zelda story that they're gonna tell is gonna be just the best day ever for me. Because, like, yeah, I see what you're saying about the story in this game, and I understand. But as far as like someone who's played a lot of these and whatnot, I still think the emotional core of the story is like one of the strongest in the series. I think the only one that beats it out really is Majora's Mask because existential dread overpowers the power of love.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. It is just that is the thing that it's like what separates it from. It's like it's a very weird position to be in, where it's like I feel like when going from Xenoblade 2 to Xenoblade 3 last year and going like this feels like an evolution every step of the way, right? It feels like the gameplay's better, the story's better, the writing's better, the performance, like everything is better in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in my opinion. You can have your preferences on. I preferred the story of 2, but I'm like I feel like everything they tried to achieve they nailed with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. When I look at Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, you blew the gameplay out of the fucking water and you did so much that you didn't need to do. You did not need to make the underground. You did not have to do that at all.
You didn't need a cave system on the surface
And the
on
case
top of
system,
the
yeah,
underground.
or all the random stuff. You didn't need that. I would have preferred you didn't have that and fucking focused on some story a bit more and some better dungeons and some other things that I just wish that classic Zelda fans have a point. I think there is a place for a modern Zelda in this style with actual dungeons and good level design, because I still think the dungeons are wacky as shit, and the fact you peak with the wind dungeon, which is the first one I did, kind of sucked, you know. Um, but it's still a fantastic game, and I think it's brilliant. Um, and like until like you said, the day that Nintendo learns to ever do anything like anybody else is the day that Nintendo stops being Nintendo. So um, it's a fun one. Um, and for those of you who are wondering, because I've been saying in the past couple of weeks, what was the other one? What was number 2? It was Resident Evil 4 was my number 2. That is the one that I was toying with. If you haven't read the article, and if you haven't read the article, go read the article. You'll know why. There you go. Perfect. One final bit of fun. I took everybody's top 6 structured order and did some ether math to determine what the statistical game of the year HGO
Ethan
game of the
Math
year is.
TM.
And this is, even though it's the 3rd annual HGAs, this is the first official arbitrary game of the year award that we're giving for statistically our game of the year. For hard science. So we'll do the top 3, which is actually the top 4 because third place is a tie. So, in third place, tied in third, Final Fantasy 16 and Resident Evil 4 Remake. In number 2, solely probably because I haven't played it, which skews the results a tad, Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm.
And in number 1, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is technically the official HGO Game of the Year, I guess. Except for Octopath 2, because that is also Game of the Year in its own right. Because Hunter is a criminal and he didn't put it in his top 6. How dare you, Hunter? How dare you?
Octopath?
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see Sea of Stars so high on your list.
I really liked it.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Be even worse, you went, shit, yeah, I didn't like that one. What was I thinking?
Yeah, like Sea of Stars was great. Like in a lot of other years, it would probably be even higher. Really, like in a typical year where the AAA is meh and indies still rule, Sea
Mhm.
of Stars would probably be like top 3. But a lot of AAA stuff showed up this year. You know,
Yeah. This
Zelda,
wasn't a
Baldur's
typical
Gate,
year.
Alan Wake, Hi-Fi Rush, all of that stuff. Really good.
It was a very abnormal year and it's a very good year for games. I think the past couple of
Mhm.
years, we've been saying COVID years, there's going to be a year eventually where everything just blows up and everything that should have been out, it comes out. And this
And
was the year.
and it happened.
Here it is.
And I think it's going to be next year is going to be particularly interesting because you look at it now and you go, you know, it's looking kind of quiet. And I'm like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. But I'm like, is it quiet though, or is it just a normal year after such a crazy hectic year that we've had this year? I think that's what's going to be interesting to see.
Mm.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the draft episode.
Which is
Oh,
next
baby.
week. So, if you have been like, wow, that was fun, Ethan, I really did enjoy talking about this year of games, but I just want to know what's next. Then join us next week where we do our fantasy
Where we
draft.
also learn what's next.
We also learn what's next. Yeah, we're going to do our fantasy draft, which is basically where we predict what we think are going to be the best games that are coming out next year.
Hunter
It's always a fun
engages in
episode.
psychological warfare for the 3rd year in a row.
There will be laughs, there will be tears. We'll find out next week. It'll be a
I don't
fun
know,
one.
Hunter. I think your psychological warfare was kind of light this year.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know,
it was
you
strong though, to be honest, because he put me into a full sense of fucking security, and then I was just like, I don't know what happened to me, dude.
I don't know. We finished the episode, and you still told me I played the second half of the initial 10 like a crackhead. So, you know.
So did I though. That was my problem. Is like I was like, I didn't take your threat seriously enough, Hunter. So I started doing stupid shit like drafting Crash Team Rumble. I will not make the same mistake again.
Remember when you laughed at me for picking Street Fighter?
Did I? Well, that's just me being stupid.
Yeah, you're like, fighting games are
Yeah.
stupid. They don't review well.
Yeah, well, right. Here's the thing, right? I'm all talk. That's the thing. We've done this for
is.
4
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
years. I am all talk. You should know this. That roughly
aware.
50% of the things that come out of my mouth are based on facts and logic, and the other half's bullshit. So you know, I just don't tell you which is which, and I 100% believe it's all facts and logic.
That's the human condition,
Until I'm not.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh well. But no, join us next week. That'll be a lot of fun. And like I said, if you want to get a more in-depth look at all of our Game of the Year picks, especially, there are articles up now on the website.
Oh, right. I'll probably have a video detailing my top 10 games of the year out on my own channel by the time
Go to
this
the
goes
website
up.
first, though. Fucking hell.
Don't steal our
Don't
traffic.
steal our traffic, bro. Don't steal our 5 clicks. What the fuck are you doing?
But also do check out Hunter's year-end top 10 videos. Those are always great.
Well, I mean, if Hunter
thank
is a
you.
good boy, we might embed it on the top of his list on the website so that they can
Oh,
also
thank
click on
you.
it there. But only if you're good. We'll see how the draft goes. 'Cause
you
we're
have, you have to
re-recording that
forfeit a
too.
draft pick this year.
Yeah, that's going to be chaos.
I mean, I do that by default if you kind of pay attention to what I pick.
Anyway, let's wrap this up because it's been going on for long enough. I've already done the links, but I'll do them one more time just for good luck. They are on screen right now. You can go follow us on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with stuff we do outside of the podcast. Like I say, Fantasy Critic next week. And then the week after that is a crazy milestone that I never thought we'd hit, is episode 200 of the HGO podcast.
Maybe.
That's crazy. That's absolutely mental. What are we doing for that? We still don't know. Have a rough idea. We'll see if it actually comes together. We don't know. I don't know. Can't
Figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Who knows?
No, I was telling them to figure it out.
No. They won't figure it out if we don't even have it figured out. We'll see. Who is it? Who will it be? Oh god, I'm saying too much. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Fancy draft. It'll be a lot of fun.
It's Kevin Miller.
Now I wish we did do that. That's like I'm like, can we bench? Anyway, that's it for this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week for the fantasy draft special. It'll be fun. There'll be tears. Please show up to that episode. It'll be brilliant. Anyway, we'll be back then for all that jazz. But until then, have an awesome week. First week of the year, so have a good one. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.